Think we're live? Am I not? I don't know. I don't even know if I'm live. It's been so long since I did one of these, you know what I mean? So, welcome. Let's see if YouTube and they let me survive and they let me go on, or if it's gonna be one of those days where we're just fighting them all day long. Hope everyone is doing good. Yeah, it's been a pretty interesting. It's been an interesting last 4 or 5 months. You know, been trying to figure out how to do a new business. Been trying to figure out how to survive on the internet. Been trying to figure out how to fight through all the bullshit that we deal with on a regular basis, you know? It's not easy, actually, you know? So if you're here, if you're new, let me know. Let's do a quick check-in, SAR. Let me know you guys are here, you know, because we've been fighting. We've been fighting, man. We've been trying to do this whole, beat the algo, beat the system thing, and it's not always the easiest thing to do, you know? But I think we're making progress. I think we're doing the best that we can. It's every day. It's like a fucking battle. You know what I mean? And the internet's like this war zone, and we're trying our best to break through and fight through and doing everything that we can. And yeah, man. You know, I think for the last 4 months, it's been this kind of battle of, all right, how do we keep this podcast going? How do we keep fighting? How do we keep fighting the system? How do we fight all these establishment figures playing puppet master with all the people around us at the same time? How do we actually build solutions and solve problems in our lives? It's been a lot. But thank you guys for chiming in. Thanks for hanging out. If you have any questions, just drop them in the comments. Let me know what you want to talk about. I don't have the biggest plan. Really, I've been working on this VPN. I have the greatest team in the world. And, you know, one of the most rare things in life for a man, at least. And I always comment on the side of men. I try not to comment in the perspective of women because, to be honest, I don't fucking understand women at all. But one of the most rarest thing amongst men is to be in a business that you actually care about, work with people you actually enjoy working with, and be able to make money doing it. So I think I got really lucky, actually really fortunate, really blessed. This new VPN that we're launching it's the sickest thing ever. And I know that we'll be talking about it a little bit more and more, and we're going to talk about it on the podcast over and over again. And whatever, Matt, you can't shill your product all the time. Fuck you. I'm going to shill it because we worked really hard to get it going. It's not that easy to get a legit VPN off the ground. And the VPN that we have, it's the only VPN that can't spy on you. And people are oh, that's marketing. Everyone says that. It's not a big deal. But it's actually a really big deal. Because we had to invent this brand new systems architecture so that we route all the internet traffic through this tiny little black box of a space called a hardware secure enclave, so that no one can see inside. And if anyone were ever subpoena us or any government were trying to say, let us know what Mike is doing, what Chris is doing, or what Sonny is doing, or Sonia is doing. If they came to us and asked us that, we literally have to say, we can't tell you because we can't know. You can subpoena us all you want, but you can't. And the system is built so that if we were ever to attempt to build in a backdoor, you actually can't connect to the server. To make that happen, it's not that easy. You know what I mean? It's actual real technology company. And trying to run a podcast and trying to look, I got a shirt on and everything. I'm trying to be a serious businessman here. And if you guys can support the project that I'm working on, I would really appreciate it. Because again, I work super hard to get this off the ground. Hold on. I even got this. Look at this. Look at this. If you can go and support our project, let us know. servers are RAM only. It goes through Intel SGX hardware secure enclaves. You cannot look inside. The client runs an attestation with the client every time you connect, so that you know that the code that we're saying we're running is the code that's running. Where your company based? The company is based in the United States. Again, you base your company overseas because you want to circumvent privacy laws. We don't have the ability to build in a backdoor. They can't subpoena us or compel us to build a backdoor because the whole system would crash. Meaning that if we ever built in a backdoor, you would not physically be able to get onto that server. It's never been done before. Office mode. Serious talk. Secretly from Bangladesh. I am definitely not from Bangladesh. We have a no logging policy, but the reality is that you have to have a no logging policy because your company has the ability to log. They have to say, we don't log because they can log. We say we don't log, but we cannot log. It's impossible for us to log. That's a very clear difference. Every single VPN in the world, they can log you. They just say that they don't. And they'll say, oh, look, we have a audit done. Great. What were you doing 1 minute before the audit? What were you doing 1 minute after the audit? And just because they logged the company doesn't mean that they are auditing the servers. The data center providers in America, if they get a subpoena and a gag order and they say, hey, give up the data, they have to give the data, and they don't even tell the company that they give up your data. Our technology is built where it is literally impossible for anyone to do that. It's actually different. It is the first technological innovation for the VPN industry in, say, 15 years. No one has technology, and I went a little Jew on it. We put a legal moat around it, so we have a patent on the system's architecture so that other VPNs can't copy us. We had different companies reach out saying that they want to license the technology. This is legit. Anyone that's been checking out vp.net, I appreciate you. Seriously. Again, like we've been fighting this whole, like we want to do something, we want to break the system. And the crazy thing is that all these VPN providers, because I got very much into this VPN understanding, knowing how it is, they all are run, especially the biggest ones. I'm not going to say all. They're either run by Israeli billionaires or the Chinese billionaires. That is the VPN industry. They run your traffic. They have access to traffic. And they're like, trust us. Don't worry. I swear we're not going to look at your traffic. Like, seriously? You're going to believe them? I'm not going to believe them. I know too much to trust them any longer. So we built something different. It was not easy to do. Support what we're doing. Go to vp.net and check it out. I really hope you do it. I'm going to do a quick promo for you because I've been working on these promos. I've been making these videos. Just watch one. We'll be back and we'll talk about other shit. All right? Let me figure out how to push this button. Your VPN can spy on you. Not saying they are, not saying they would, but they can. And that's the problem. That's just how they're built. VPNs run on trust. They toss around phrases like no logs, but what that really means is trust us. Trust us not to monitor, not to save, not to share. But here's the catch. In America, are we supposed to trust foreign companies in Israel, Romania, Panama, Switzerland to keep that promise? To not sell our data, to not cave under pressure, to not betray us if a government comes knocking? Can we really trust that? Maybe you can. But in a world drowning in surveillance, leaks, and hacks, we think that's insane. That's why we built something different. VP.net, the world's first verified privacy network. No more trusting companies, no more empty promises, just cryptographic proof in real time that we can't see your traffic, even if we wanted to, even if someone begged us to, even if a court ordered us to. All traffic runs inside Intel SGX secure enclaves, cryptographic vaults where not even we can peek inside. This isn't privacy by policy, it's privacy by design. It's a game changer. Once you know VP.net exists, you can't unsee it. You'll never look at VPN the same again. because your traffic belongs to you and no one else. VP.net. Using a legacy VPN today, it's like using Hotmail. I know, like, oh, there's a gag order and you can build, I watched the Pavel interview and I heard that there's a gag order and the developers have to build it and the owners don't know. We've thought of that. If there's ever a backdoor built, then the client physically cannot connect to the server. It's just how we built it. We've thought about those ideas and we built it so that we can be as private and as secure as possible. And I get it. The VPNs aren't like, they're not going to be all encompassing private. They don't make you like these digital ghosts. I get it. But going on the internet without a VPN, it's like, I don't know, it's like raw dogging. Like, you know, like you need something going on. At least you need a pull-out method. You need something, right? The VPN is like a shield. Just because you have a shield doesn't mean you can't get a headshot. It doesn't mean someone can't shoot you in the foot. But it's better than not having one. If you're going to have one, you might as well have the most private one because, again, we are the only company that it is impossible for the developers to log or build backdoors. Everyone has the ability to. It's whether or not they choose to or not. Can we talk about what's going on in the world? I was told that we're going to have World War III. And I don't know if it's going to happen or not. Right now, it looks like it is. It isn't. If you guys have been watching the podcast for a while, we have been talking about this Iran thing from last summer. We knew this shit was going to happen. We saw the psyop being set up. We knew that they were signaling that this was going to be an issue. This is not a surprise. Anyone that's been around the channel for a long time, we know that this was on the roadmap. Do you remember, like, I think it was maybe October, maybe August. They're like, oh yeah, they stopped at the border, like these missiles that were coming into the United States because they were going to blow up Air Force One or something like this. And we're like, It wasn't true. They never apologized. They never said, oh, just kidding. In fact, they've been dropping these nuggets and hints at us for better part of a year. So that when they say, oh, look, World War III is going to happen, everyone's like, oh, no, it can really happen. Look at all these people that came in through the border. Look at all of the attacks and look at the assassination attempts. Like, of course this makes sense. If you've been watching and we've been communicating, you know, we knew this shit was going to happen. This was on the roadmap. We are in a place now where we know better. We are in a place now that we are more aware. We are noticing. Something interesting I did saw today. I saw the clip today of Trump like calling out Israel for the first time. That was really interesting, though. That gave me a little bit of pause. He's like, I can't believe they broke the ceasefire. I'm like, really? You didn't? You couldn't believe that? I knew. You knew. We all knew. I don't know how it turns out. I think that we just have to be very aware. I think it's really interesting. We do know that, you know, if you guys are into eschatology at all, as I am, we know that a lot of things are lining up to certain dates. We are getting close to what may seem like the end of the world. I don't know. All I know is I'm trying to do the best with the information that we have, trying to do the best with the environment around us. We just have to survive. We need to create tools. I think that we are going into a more digital future. I think that's inevitable. I think you guys know that also, is that the direction of this world is, it is what it is. There's nothing we can do to stop the way that we are going. What we can do is we can start building systems and processes in order to help us in this digital future that we're going. And what we do know is that this digital future and this road that we're going is a system of control, is this system of surveillance, system of kind of building these dystopian walls around you, in which you can't obfuscate, you can't navigate, you don't know that they're there, but they are there. We know that that's being built. You feel it, I feel it, we all know it. So what can we do? And that's really why we started a lot of things. We started the social media platform or this discussion forum, Soju, SOJ.OOO. And it's supposed to be this platform that is completely free speech, that no one can take off the internet, because at some point in life, maybe it doesn't seem like that crazy now. But in a few years, you're gonna be like, holy shit, I'm so glad this place exists, because it is the only place on the internet that is not censorable, as far as I know. And I know that for sure because me and Andrew Tangun, who is the guy who built it, we are the ones that are running it. I know it can't be censored because I've seen what it does. We can't censor it. You can't force us to censor it. We built that. That's step one of building a program and building technologies that will embetter society for the future. That's what we're working on. That's what we're thinking about. It's on the internet. There's nothing called privacy when you go to a public forum. The most important part about public forum is not keeping public information private because it's public information. It's to make sure that you can't delete information because one day stories will get out, information will get out, and if you have the ability to delete shit, they will delete the things that are important. The whole point of it is to have a place where you can put stuff up that they can't not delete. The second thing we did is, okay, if you want to be private on the internet, how can you be private? So we created a VPN. The VPN is there to help you anonymize your network traffic. Actually, the patent we have is, patent we filed for, patent pending, is network anonymization within a hardware secure enclave. That patent, that technology is the first iteration of what we're using the technology for is the VPN. Next, we can use that for a messenger, for example. Okay, let me talk about Messenger, how that same technology can be used in a messenger. If you're using Signal, which I use, if you're using Signal, it is end-to-end encrypted chat. Great. You have end-to-end encrypted chat. People cannot see the contents of what you spoke about. Fine. But what they do know is that you and I, we spoke. They may encrypt the contents of our conversation, but they do not hide the fact that you and I connected. That should also be anonymized. The anonymization network traffic within a hardware secure enclave. It will give us the ability to make sure that the conversation and the connection and the handshake between you and I are anonymous. That's actually a really big deal. Okay, example. If you are a 1990 mafia gangster, for example, what they used to do is they take these long lens cameras and they take picture to show that two people were talking. People would cover their mouth and they would talk like this. Remember in the movies, they're like, yeah, and like this, but they still have the picture. The picture of the two people talking is enough to say conspiracy. They don't need to know the contents of your conversation to associate you. They just need to know that the two of you were talking. Our technology allows us to anonymize that connection. We use it currently in the VPN. We will use it for messaging. We will also be able to use it in browsers. We will also be able to use it for your communication and chats with language models, with AI. So we're solving a problem that is a legacy problem, the problem that we have existing today. We're trying to solve a problem for tomorrow and into the future. And like, Matt, you're just a podcaster. What do you know? What? I'm trying, man. I'm doing the best that I can. I'm trying to create I'm trying to bring in super talented people that are much more smarter than I, people that have much higher understanding and aptitude towards technology than I, higher IQ than I, because I want to be around people that are smarter than me, that are more capable than me, that have more experience and understanding than I. Because I feel like if we can bring those people together, we can actually create change. I don't want to bring a team of people like not smarter than me because I'm not adding value. So my team is people that are significantly smarter than me, that understand technology to a level that much higher than me. And we built probably one of the coolest things out there. Check it out, vp.net. Just do it. Just do it. Go sign up. It's one of those things where... Why does my button not work?
Your VPN can spy on you. Not saying they are, not saying...
I swear I know how to use these buttons. Look at that. Getting good at this. Go to vp.net, sign up. It is one of those things that we've been working hard on. It's going to be one of the cornerstones of our podcast. It's the thing, like most podcasters, they're like shilling shit that they actually don't believe in. Most podcasters, most YouTubers, and most people online, they promote things just because someone paid them to do it. I didn't want to do that. You guys know that. We don't do promos. We don't do ad reads. We only wanted to focus on things that we actually believe in. And it's really hard to believe in something unless you're the one building it. Because I like to build. I like to build product. I like to build companies. This is what I did before I started podcasting. And to be honest, podcasting pays shit because we're constantly fighting the overlords. We talk about things that it's not algorithmic friendly. You guys know that. But we can't stop talking about them. So how do we survive? Well, the reality is that we just have to work on products and build tools and freedom tools that we actually believe in. Let me go through a couple comments here and see what we got. Let's see. I definitely believe there's a small group of the small hats. I don't even know. It's like the craziest thing, right? Like, how do you fight an enemy if you don't actually know who the enemy is? It's something I think about all the time. It's what they do to keep you confused. It's what they do to keep you controlled. It's that don't really know. If you don't know, how do you fight an enemy? It's like they just throw all these random enemies at you and you think you're fighting them, but you don't know because you don't know who the right one is. Would you collab with the New York Freedom Fighters? I don't know who they are, but hit me up. I would definitely collab with whoever wants to collab. I'm like open. I'm not like particularly picky about who I talk to. If there's an opportunity, there's opportunity. Trying to build a system and a process and a company that doesn't rely on them, it's actually not that easy to do. We encounter them at every turn. We encounter them at every single hurdle. Somehow they're always the people in the way. And we're trying to build a parallel economy and options to what's out there. Most of YouTube has become a glorified QVC homeschooling network. It's true. It's true. Peter is not here today. It is, I wish I could show you around a little bit here. We have the whole studio broken down. I've been like in work mode for the last 4 months. Actually, I got to rebuild the studio soon. We have to move our studio actually soon. Our studio is right here in this back corner. There's like this leak in water behind the shelf. And actually I can't get back to it. And the water has been dripping and leaking. And I'm pretty sure we have like mold in the air. And the landlord here said they would fix it, but I don't know how you're going to fix it without tearing down the entire studio. So we may need to move soon. I don't know where to yet. I've been trying to figure out where to move the studio. I have an unfinished basement at home. I may move it to my house, but then I have to have like, if we ever have guests, I have to have people over. I don't know if I want to do that. I also don't want to dox my home address. So I don't know yet, but it's something that we need to do eventually. We need to move the studio, and the new studio will probably look a lot different. I kind of really got used to the way the studio looks. I really like the studio, you know. I think you guys like it too. It's like one of the coolest studios on the internet, I believe. But eventually we'll. If you have not done it, I'm going to keep on shilling in between talking because you guys need to be doing this. And that is, you need to go sign up for my VPN. It's what's going to support this podcast. It's what's going to support the show. It's what's going to support us moving forward into the future. And it's what is going to allow us to grow the show. It's what's going to allow us to get our message out there further. And it's what's going to prevent us and protect us from people that are trying to come in and alter our thoughts, alter our words, alter our way and thought and views, you know? Ian Carroll, Jake Shields, Dan Bilzerian, Kenneth Owens. I'm going to talk to Jake. I'm going to talk to Dan. I'm going to talk to maybe Nick. I have a message out to Ian. I don't know Candace, but we will be talking to them. And if you're just joining in now, because people are coming in and out, which I expect, check in. Sorry. Another Israeli VPN. It's not fucking Israeli. Do I look Israeli? What the hell? Literally building a VPN that is not Israeli so that we can fight against the Israeli VPNs. And you're like, oh, it's Israeli. How can you build a VPN that is not Israeli if you build a non-Israeli VPN and they're like, oh, it's an Israeli VPN? Make that make sense. I have messaged with Myron also. We're going to talk to Myron shortly. He is becoming a friend of ours and everything else. Emra, appreciate you. I wish I knew how to do a sound effect because I would do it. But do I have a sound effect button here? Now I feel like I need one. How do I do a sound effect button? Where is the sound effects? Window, sound effects. Emra, thank you, bro. How is it better than the best VPN? Well, this is the best VPN. I don't know what the best VPN is. It's not a Chinese VPN. It's not a Israeli VPN. So is that a better VPN? PIA, ExpressVPN, they're owned by Israeli billionaires. Proton VPN is owned by some guys that started CERN, or CERN researchers. They're based out of like Switzerland. NordVPN is based out of, they say Panama, but really it seems like it's Lithuania. Like they're all shady as fuck. Half the VPNs on the App Store are owned by the Chinese. We are the only VPN that is not owned by one of these shady companies. And you're like, well, how do I know you're not shady? Dude, you're in my fucking live stream. If you don't trust me, I don't know who else you're going to trust. Because no other VPN provider and no other person that owns a VPN is going to give you the access like I give you the access. No one is going to talk to you and tell you what they really think and put their ideas out into the world like I'm going to. Just not going to happen. I love what you do, but your VPN required JavaScript for the website to work and a credit card instead of crypto/cash. Seems sus to me. We do have a crypto payment option. Right now, the crypto we're taking are just traditional coins. We are working on a privacy coin implementation, and the privacy coins will let you have the ability to sign up without an email address also. So if that is something that you require, it's coming soon. We're working on it. We're going to take probably Zeno, FUSD are the two, maybe Monero also. But there is going to be a privacy coin option. And basically, once you pay in privacy token, then your token will come back to you in the payment confirmation, so that you don't have to log in with an email address. That is on the roadmap. We wanted to get to market, getting it approved by Apple and Google and etc. That took a second, but all the information, and again, people don't want to sign up with their email and use a credit card. I get it, but we do not have the ability to correlate your user account to traffic. We do not have the ability to do that. That is our technology. We do not have the ability to correlate users with the user traffic. All the correlation happens in the Intel SGX enclave. And if you guys don't know what that is, the Intel SGX enclave is basically this digital black box within certain server processors. Other processors have it, but they don't have that attestation. Certain server processors, which was invented and made for ultimately sensitive and confidential key signatures. We figured out how to take that small, tiny space that's for key verification and run network traffic. That's not easy to do, actually. It is a space that even if you were to gain root access to the server itself, you can't stay inside. Meaning that we, as the VPN provider, cannot see your traffic. We cannot correlate your traffic. It's not possible. We also add obfuscation so that there are thousands of fake packets being put into the server and into the enclave at all times. It's both fake traffic as well as time delay traffic so that no one can time attack you. This is a serious project. And I know it's not that serious because Matt, he's just a podcaster. Fine. If you can't get over that, I can't help you there. I will tell you that Andrew, who is the one that built Soju, is the one that built the initial systems architecture for our VPN. He was the founder of PIA, Private Internet Access. So one of our best friends, one of my closest friends, is literally the founder of Private Internet Access. If you say, you don't know how the VPN industry works, maybe I don't know. But Andrew definitely knows. And he knows very closely how it operates in the background because he ended up selling his VPN to one of these companies. In all fairness, this is before he knew how those people operate. People don't know that. It's not like inherently you know. Once he knew, he's like, dude, we need to figure out a way to do this better. What they're doing is bullshit. We need a way to do it that's more private, that's more secure, because that's actually what he believed in. When he sold Private Internet Access to Cape, who owns Private Internet Access, who owns Express, etc., the whole company was supposed to be rebranded as Private Internet because he inherently believes in privacy. Once he realized that that company was doing things that were not overly private, he actually liquidated and left. And if I told you how much money he left on the table for his belief in privacy versus the chase of more money and capital, it's crazy. I don't think a lot of you guys could have made that decision, by the way. You're not talking like a couple dollars. I mean, we're talking tens of millions of dollars. $100 million he left on the table because he felt as though his mission of privacy was not being upheld by the people that bought the company. If that is not commitment to the mission of providing privacy, like, it's probably one of the things I love most about Andrew is that he legitimately believes in what we're doing. Like, every single decision that we make for any company and for everything that we do, for Soju, for VP.net, the number one question is, does this make it less private. And if the question is, it makes it less private, we say no. Immediately. Even if it makes more money, we always opt for the thing that is more private. It's actually not easy to run a business that way. Every single technology company in the world, when they're given the option of is it more private or is it more profitable, every single company in the world always chooses profit. If you think it's easy to say no to easy money for mission, you're very wildly mistaken. It is not easy to do. But we do it because we believe that until someone actually does it the right way, other people won't do it. But if we can prove that you can actually build a company and build a business and build a technology that actually thinks about the user first and not the company first, and that you can prove that that model actually works in society and works in the future, then we hope that other companies will follow suit. It's crazy to say that. It's crazy to say that no one's actually done this before, because a lot of people say they do it and they start with it and they say they believe in the mission of providing privacy and security for their users, but given the opportunity for more money or less privacy, profit for themselves versus benefit for their user, every single technology always chooses the company. Somebody at some point has to do it the right way. That's what we're trying. I'm trying. It's not easy to do. Sorry, feeling ranty today. I don't know why. I don't know why every time I get a live stream, I feel super ranty. Maybe just what it is. Maybe a ranty kind of guy. I don't want to be. I'm like a really nice guy, actually. I'm really friendly. Your website can identify people with JavaScript and Cloudflare. Yeah. But there is nothing wrong with saying that you signed up for a VPN. The fact that you are signing up for a VPN is not incriminating. There are thousands of users that use a VPN, millions of users. Once you sign up, there is no other reason other than the fact that you visited a website, that you signed up. But we can't correlate the user with the traffic. What you say about users, etc., for another VPN, it's valid because they can correlate traffic. We do not have the ability to correlate traffic. It's extremely unique and different differentiator between our technologies. They are operating in the traditional legacy old way of doing things. What we have done is created a new standard in which things work. Andrew is the crown prince of Korea. Actually, Andrew is the king of Joseon, which is the ancient monarchy and ruling class of Korea. And once Korea went through Korean War, the existing system was removed, but Andrew is the king of the previous group that had once controlled Korea. And everything that we build is for privacy, is for other people, is to embetter society. Are you still on YouTube's naughty list? I have a permanent seat on YouTube's naughty list. I don't know how to remove it. Actually, I had this warning and they had this notification in my YouTube studio saying that I was in timeout. I forget what they called it, like warning status or whatever. And the very first video after we were let out, we got demonetized and put back in. So, yeah. VPNs are for sketchy behavior. Is like saying I don't do anything illegal, so surveillance is fine. Agreed. It's like, when you use the internet, your ISPs know literally everything that you're doing. They know what website you're on. They know where you are, what you're doing, how much time you spend, whatever. They know everything about you. It's the equivalent of being home and letting strangers stand at your window and watch what you're doing inside. Maybe you're not doing anything illegal. Maybe you have nothing to hide. Maybe you're not being shady. But that's your home. That's your domain. Why are there strangers watching what you do? VPN is just closing the shutters. They can't see in. My only question is, Matt, Chinese spy or Korean? It's a good mind game. I'm Korean. For anyone that understands, I look extremely Korean. I have been Korean for thousands of years. My family, we track our family back thousands of years. I've been Korean the whole time. So I'm extremely Korean. But Korean American, I was born in the United States. I was raised here. I live here. Obviously, I vote here. I care about what happens here. I don't envision myself living in any country ever. I want to live and stay in the United States for as long as I live. I want my daughter to be raised here. And yeah. Would you join the board of a healthcare search fund? I don't know what that is, but I'd be open to a conversation, Bobby. I just want to do whatever provides value. Anything that I feel like can do good for the world, like I want to do that. Let's see what else we have. Episode of Peter talk about dragons. We will get into dragons. I think he's gonna say that dragons aren't real. That's my guess. Like why are all the dinosaur discoveries all happening within the last 50, 60 years? I believe that's what he's gonna say. We haven't actually talked about it, so I don't know where he's gonna go with that. But I do know that he is skeptical of dragons. We'll probably get into that one day. I don't know. I am in the Matrix. The Matrix is it's one of those interesting shows, one of those interesting movies. I've mentioned this before, but people think that the Matrix is about Neo destroying the Matrix, but then we find out at the end of the trilogy that that Neo is actually part of the system, and that his role was just to reset it. It's actually really scary if you think about that, because it makes so much sense. Do you know what's even more interesting? I actually found the lady who says that she is the writer of the Matrix storyline, and she said that the Matrix and the Terminator series is actually part of the same story. They split it, and she said that she had been shopping it to Hollywood, and they stole her script and stole her idea, and they became two different series. We'll probably have her on the show one day. It's like some older black lady out of Las Vegas, and I spoke to her, and yeah, I wanted to have her on, but we just haven't had it yet. But she said that she wrote it. People were saying, since you were sitting in your latest short clip with your hands in some position, that said you were doing the Illuminati sign. Like putting your fingers like this and sitting, it's called the steeple. It's like a really common way for men to sit and speak. It's not a sign of any sort. It's actually literally called, I believe it's called the steeple. It is something that if you're standing and you're giving a speech, Sophia Stewart, that's right. That's her name. Sophia Stewart. I spoke to Sophia Stewart. I have her name. We'll get back to that. But if you are presenting, okay? If I was doing a presentation and if my hands were down here while I'm talking, I'm trying to talk like this, you actually look like an asshole. So if anyone does public speaking, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to give you a quick public speaking advice and tip. If you're speaking publicly and you're doing a presentation and you stand with your hand at your sides, you look like an asshole. Don't do that. If you're standing there and your hands are behind your back, you look stupid. If you sit there and you're talking publicly and you have your hands in front of you, kind of in this middle area, it actually makes you seem really authoritative when you're public speaking. So if people do either like this, people layer their hands like this, or whatever, right? You want your hands to be in front of you, in front of your chest when you speak publicly, and then you use hand gestures and you use things. And when you talk like this in public, especially when you're in front of a lot of people, this is a very common way to speak and get authority in a public space. So, you may not believe me, but if you ever go on stage and you're talking in front of a lot of people, try talking like this and try talking like this. People, like, look, even if I stand like this and you stand like this, even if it's like this or like this, there's something about having your hands in front of you that makes you much more authoritative. It's a thing. You're going to say, oh, that's Illuminati thing. All right? Trust me, when you ever have to do a speech, you're going to go to that and you're going to crush it and you're going to appreciate that you learned that today. Travis, greetings from North Dakota. Welcome, North Dakota. Lori, what's your concern? I don't see it. It scrolled past. Sorry. If you ask again, I will answer. Illuminati confirmed. Why is my thing all like messed up here? I'm trying to get through. I write Red Pill Music, got a job for me. Message me online somewhere and send me some stuff. And if we can figure out a way to work it into the podcast, we will. Oh no, look, he put his fingers together. I don't know. Here, should I do this? Is this better? What is the best version of Batman? Why is it Adam West? Huh. I don't know. What's your best Batman? Batman. Did you know the first language is actually sign language? Use of hands, no sounds. How do you know that? Were you there? Quick question. Already on Soju? Yes. Awesome. Tag me. I will check it out. And that would be great to have. How can you stop technocrats coming for your project and base? So this is really interesting. Even if someone were to acquire or buy our company, even if they were, the code base is the code base. The client is the client. And the technology is specifically so that the network traffic routes through these hardware secure enclaves. If there were a change, like if you have the VPN, you can go on your VPN right now. If you're on vp.net and you have the client installed, and if you click on it, there will be a place that has the enclave hash, right, for the verification. If you click it, it will tell you what the enclave hash was that it was verified and what the process was to verify. Meaning that you have the ability to check at real time, all the time, that what we are running is what is supposed to be run. If anyone were ever to make that change, you would know it immediately. You would physically not be able to connect to it. It doesn't matter actually who owns it. It's one of the technologies. Now it's out in the world. It's going to work the way it's supposed to work. Studio Rainer, did you respond to Super Chats? I do respond to Super Chats. If I missed one, I apologize. If I could figure out how to add it to the screen, I would. Typically, I have Will. Will sits here somewhere and does all of this and adds the comments and chats into the screen. He's not with me today, so I'm like, have like computers up in front of me trying to do it myself. And it's not easy to like navigate all this while talk at the same time while read the comments. So I'm trying. Are you really still shilling for VPNs? Yes. I spent the better part of 20 hours a day every single day for the last 6 months building a company, and I'm going to talk about it because I spent a lot of time and effort and stress and emotion to do it the right way and put out a tool to the world that I really think is valuable, that I personally believe in. And if that means I want to talk about it on my show because I built it and I worked with maybe the most competent team in the world to build it, to have something there so that it can't be compromised, can't be backdoors built in, so that your data is secure and is private, and we're not shilling it over to foreign companies. And if I'm going to shill that, I'm going to shill it all day, because why else would I do it? So yes, I'm going to shill it. I'm going to shill it over and over and over and over again. Do either you or Andrew give business advice like building boards or raising capital? Yeah. We can definitely help there. Andrew is phenomenal because, again, he's had multiple companies, has many exits, sold out to very large companies in the past. He learned to code when he was 12 years old, so he is very understanding of how the technology space works, supported a lot of the open source projects out there today. Very well known in the open source community. If you need help, you need advice, definitely reach out. It is something that we are very passionate about, building business the right way, helping navigate through the current corporate technology system. It's not actually easy. Shill. How are the speeds on WireGuard locations? The speeds are really good. We have stripped down the limitation of WireGuard to make it as fast as possible. We currently have 350 servers up and running throughout the world. We'll be adding more based on user need. So if there are places in the world that you need servers closer to you, go to support, just send a message, and like, hey, like, can we get servers here? Enough people request a certain area, we'll add servers in that area. But right now we have servers throughout Europe. We have them in Asia and Japan, and we have them on the East Coast, West Coast, and Central of the United States. We currently do not have servers in South America, but we are looking into that as we speak. But we have about 350 servers throughout the world currently. You still ask for email address sign up? Yes. We ask for the email address. Again, we do not have the ability to correlate your email address to any traffic that you do, so us having the email address doesn't actually make a difference. We will have an anonymous, privacy, non-email way to sign up using privacy coins in the future, probably 2 weeks or so. That should be available. But for the time being, if you want to sign up now, you have to use your email address. Actually, you don't have to use an email address. You can just sign up and use a token system if you choose to. Price anonymity versus Mulvad. We are significantly more private than Mulvad because Mulvad, although they don't take your email address, they have your IP and they have the traffic that you're doing, and they are saying, oh, we will not by choice, by policy, correlate the traffic together, although they have the ability to do so. We do not have the ability to correlate your traffic. So if you subpoena us and say, give us the traffic that associates from here to here, we cannot see the middle. It's impossible. Mulvad has the ability to do it. They are saying they choose not to. It is a very fundamentally difference between the two. Having the ability to correlate traffic and saying we do not, versus not having the technical ability to do it. You can pay with crypto. We do not have the ability to take the traffic. We do not have the ability to associate IP to the endpoint. It's impossible for us to do it. Don't buy Grok VPN, buy vp.net. But thank you, Grok. Appreciate it. It's different. It's really different. Do y'all do any acquisitions or building? Only building, and what kind of hours do y'all put in? Any ventures along the way? Yeah. So right now we are only doing building because that's our focus. We will look into possible investment type roles in the future, but right now, we need to build the business. So our 100% of our focus for the last 4 months has been building this VPN product. We have accomplished more in 4 months than your average technology company would probably do in 2 years, to give you an idea. As far as mentors, we do have several mentors. One of our advisors is Roger Ver. So Roger Ver is, they call him Bitcoin Jesus, one of the pioneers in the Bitcoin economy and the Bitcoin space. He is one of our co-founders and is our top advisor. He is the one that helps us navigate into the business world. It's someone that we rely on when we make really high-level business decisions, because he has invested in probably pretty much every single freedom project that exists to man to date. And the VPN actually was his idea. Roger, we were on a call with Roger, and Roger's like, hey, you guys should really do a VPN. You guys really care about privacy. Why is privacy a trust-based model? You guys should figure out a way. And Andrew went into his computer, figured out a way to build a systems architecture in order to do it so that no one can ever code it. So we've coded every single line of everything that we do ourselves. And when I say ourselves, I didn't do any coding. I don't know how to code. I don't code. But Andrew does, and Mark Karpelis, who is other founder, has. So Roger Ver has been our top advisor. He's who we rely on for a lot of information. And yeah, so Roger's been great. Having a really good advisor that has built business, has exited business, understands the space, and most importantly, having advisors that align with your mission and align with what you actually believe ideologically is really important. Because if your advisors only care about money and they don't actually believe in your mission, they are going to steer you to money first decisions. And if you make money first decisions, you will lose focus of what their mission was when you started. So having an advisor that really believes in what you believe, it's actually the most important thing. Because if money becomes the decision maker and becomes a number one priority in your business, then you become just like every other business that you're trying to compete with. If you stick to your values and you stick to your beliefs, then I believe that that alone becomes a differentiating factor between what you do and your competitors. Because a lot of businesses, when they start up, they need to generate revenue. And they get so nervous on how do we make more money? How do we make more money? Oh my gosh, we spent so much money building this product. We need to make our money back fast. And you get stuck in this loop that every single decision you make becomes about money. And when you become money focused first, you lose your purpose. I think purpose-driven business is the best business. It also makes you rare. And value comes in scarcity. And by being a value-driven business, you become scarce. That's what I believe. That's how I operate every business that we've ever done. I just hacked your VPN. I demand $1 million. No, you didn't. Do you have any updates for token currency for Soju, Matt? Yes, we are gonna go back to focusing a lot on Soju, probably in the future, in the near future. Really, you know, like Soju, I really believe in it, and I believe that Soju will be around forever. That's the whole point of it. We also, because of the type of platform that it is, we didn't want Soju to raise outside money because that affects the way it does. We didn't want to put in like these crazy monetization systems because otherwise you have to figure out a way to pay the bills on it. So a part of the reason, actually, the reason we actually started thinking about VPN is because how do we fund Soju without having to fund Soju? So a lot of what we do in the VPN and the extra capital that we can generate and the revenue that we can make from running a VPN, and to be fair, like the VPN it's going to be big. It's going to be the biggest VPN in the world. I actually believe that. Because we are the only VPN that is actual real differentiating factor with everyone else. It may start slow. It may take time. May have to talk about it a lot. But you guys, everyone here on the live stream is going to remember this moment. Oh, remember that day that Matt was shilling his VPN? Yeah, it's going to be a thing. Because I really believe we have the only differentiating factor in technology in all of VPN industry. And it's going to become the biggest VPN company in the world. And we're probably going to hit $1 billion on this thing. And through that, we're going to fund Soju. Because we don't want to take outside money on Soju. We want Soju to stay as independent as humanly possible all times. And we want to add in a in-app currency. We actually want to decentralize the ownership. So we want to give ownership of Soju and the platform to the users. That's actually been our goal since day one. How do we figure out how to give away Soju so that we don't actually have to make money on it? And how do the people and the users on Soju own it so that if someone ever take it down, that is enough owners on it and it's decentralized all over the world that we do it. We actually thought about, like, I don't believe in decentralized technology for things like platforms, because I think that technology and decentralized technology in those spaces makes it very difficult to work. It takes forever to make changes. Having centralized tech is faster, it's more reliable, it's better. But in order to solve the problem of centralized ownership, we want to decentralize the ownership, meaning we physically will give away the ownership of Soju to the users. That's the goal. That's always been the goal. We want it to live forever. The best way for us to do that is to figure out how to build other technologies that can help fund that and help fund that motive and help fund that motivation. So we started a VPN. I really hope you guys support the VPN. Go to vp.net and check it out. And it was, you know what? I'm going to take a 1-minute break. I am going to show you, because show. I'm going to show you one more commercial because we spent a lot of time making these commercials. I'm going to show you one more. I'm going to take a 1-minute break. I'll be right back.
The early internet was the wild, wild west. Strange. Free. We explored, we broke things. And yes, we failed. No rules. And that was beautiful. But times have changed. We hesitate. We censor ourselves because we know they're watching. Surveillance kills curiosity, turning the internet from a frontier of hope into a cage of silence. And your VPN?
Your VPN can spy.
It's based on trust. For let's be real, nobody has ever lied to me, said nobody ever. Yet true privacy is still within reach. VP.net doesn't rely on trust, it runs on real-time proof. Because privacy is about becoming your truest self when no one's watching. So you can be the best you when they are. Otherwise be an NPC, a digital product, and lose. VP.net, don't trust, verify.
Tor. Tor is like unusably slow. Decentralized VPNs are risky because you never know who along the chain is compromised. You have to build servers and you have to build a network that is not compromisable. Again, not easy to do. But we did it. The client is open source client. The client is open source. You can definitely go look, check it out. With the GitHub repository for everything VPNet that we're going to open source is not published yet, but it will be soon. It's coming. Plot twist. Matt is a Gestapo agent harvesting your data in America's Antarctica safe house. Damn. I've never been to Antarctica. Do you think I should go one day? Do you guys want to go to Antarctica? If you had the ability to go to Antarctica, would you go? I signed up SARS. Thank you. Appreciate it. Checking in, SAR. Imagine trusting Tor or VPNs that some government agency made. That is true. No government agency made our VPN because we ourselves made the VPN. I have spent countless hours on it. And if you're like, man, we don't believe you, fuck, I can't do anything about that. You know what I mean? Like, you guys are here, you guys listen to me, you guys watch me, we're hanging out. If you're going to trust anybody, I don't know. I'm not saying trust me. I'm just like everybody else. But by now, you guys know me. If you don't know me, then you don't know me. But if you feel like you know me, that's what I've been working on. That's all I've been working on. It's like, it's not easy. You know, like building this shit, it's not easy. Why am I here? I want to be here, and I want to be here, and I want to be here. Though I have very limited understanding of the tech world and question every claim any company ever made, I would be most likely to trust you guys. Michael, thank you. That really means a lot. I'm going to be honest. I don't trust tech companies either. I trust us because I know what we're doing. I know fully what we're doing. I know what we're up to. I know that every discussion we ever have on any decision we ever make is, does this make the company more or less private? And we never opt for less private. Can you hint at future plans for products? Yeah. Right now, it is the first implementation of our technology is for the VPN. We'll be rolling out to possibly a browser, a truly secure browser that strips everything out. We want to do a browser. We want to integrate into a messaging service so that we can anonymize the connections between end-to-end encrypted chats. We want to create a way to create a secure tunnel and a private tunnel with your language models in the future. That is on the roadmap, something we want to do. We have a variety of different tools that are built for ultimate user privacy. The VPN is just the first of many that we intend on implementing in the future. So please support us. Matt has hair. I do have hair. What the? Did you think I was bald? Not that there's anything wrong with bald people, but I have a lot of hair. It's actually really gray too. I don't know why. I'm like more gray than anything. You can kind of see it in the light, like how gray I really am. How long before you're offered a paid trip to Israel? Discuss your product. That's the great thing about this technology, is that you actually can't compromise it. It's just that's what we built it. We built it so that they can't force us to build a back door. Like, we would rather network crash than build in a back door, and that's how it's coded. So I don't know. I don't see any Israeli billionaires knocking on my door today. You know what I mean? But if it happens, I'll let you know. Can you hire me? Sorry, I have advanced cryptographic knowledge. Shoot me a note. Send me your information. We are starting off a very small team. As we grow, we will expand. I'm sure that there will always be opportunities because not only are we doing the VPN, but we have other privacy tools along the way. We integrate more in everything we do. We actually consider it to be true cryptography. We think that cryptocurrency was supposed to be a freedom tool. It somehow became a when Lambo tool. And it's actually speculation rather than the tool that's supposed to be, which is supposed to give people freedom of commerce, freedom of currency. Somehow we've went away from that model. I am very much in the camp of cryptocurrency was supposed to be there to free you from the system, not put you back into the system. Hopefully we'll get there one day. We're not there yet. But what we are doing is what we consider real cryptography. Bolivian. Who's Bolivian? I'm definitely not Bolivian. Do I look Bolivian? I don't understand why anyone would say I'm Bolivian. I don't think anyone's ever looked at me and said, hey, you know what? Matt looks Bolivian. Maybe he's from Bolivia. Where is Bolivia? You're right. Crypto has been co-opted back in the system by the system. They absorb and convince people it's commodity. Yeah. It's not. Cryptocurrency was supposed to be a freedom tool, you know? And the original members of Bitcoin actually believed in that. That cryptocurrency and Bitcoin was supposed to free us from the system. Somewhere along the way, it's been co-opted. It's been taken over. I believe that the founders of Bitcoin and the original members of the Bitcoin community actually believed in cryptocurrency as a freedom tool. I believe that. I just don't think that's where it ended up. Somehow it became this speculative tool. And I'm really not into the speculative side of it. But I do see the use case of the currency. It's just people don't really use it as a currency as much. What made you interview Dr. Shiva? They reached out. Dr. Shiva and his team reached out several times. And yeah, so we did it. And I found him interesting. I think he is like really more aggressive than I like. He says fuck a lot, maybe too much for my, it's a little uncomfortable for me. It was like too much. I mean, I say fuck, but like every other word is like too much. That was my thing. Ever plan on running for political office? I don't know, man. You know, like a year ago, if you asked me that, you know, I had this idea that if the podcast ever gets big enough where the podcast can support like my living, then I would consider running for office one day. But man, dude, seeing politics the last 6 months, it's really hard to believe it, isn't it? It's really hard to like think it's legit because it's just theater, you know? Like they say they care, but they don't care. They say they're going to make a difference, but they don't make a difference. Actually, nothing seems to change. You know, it doesn't matter who's in office. It doesn't matter who's in charge. It doesn't matter which politicians win an election cycle. The country and the world is going to go the direction that it's going. And changing leadership doesn't seem to divert us from that path. I think that's why I've been doing less politics and more technology. I really think that's why. Because, you know, the politicians change. The policies change. But the technology dictates the direction that we're going. And the only way I could figure out how to solve that wasn't to become a politician. Because being a politician won't make that difference. I don't believe that anymore. But I think becoming a technologist and focusing on the technology side and building tools to fight the dystopian digital future that they're building around us, I actually think that will make a difference. I think that does matter. You know? It's why I do a lot of what I do right now. It's why I'm so big in the technology side. It's why I think so much about AI. You know? And you know, AI, people are like, oh, AI is going to take over, and AGI is going to take over. It may one day. I actually don't think we're that close. I think we're further than people think. I think that them saying that AGI and AI is going to take over and change the way we run everything in life, like it's going to make a difference, but to like change it and upend it altogether, I don't believe that actually. I think we've hit a technology wall on AI. I do. Because if you are OpenAI or you're XAI or you're any one of these AI companies and you were close to AGI, then you wouldn't be doing the things that you're doing. They focus on things like integration. They focus on things like marketing. Like none of that actually matters if you're going to be the first person to create AGI. You actually wouldn't spend any money on marketing because you wouldn't care. You're going to take over the entire market in one day as soon as you release it. Then why are you focused on these things? The only reason you focus on all these things is because you're actually not that close. And the only reason you tell people that you're close is because you want to justify your crazy, ridiculous valuations that you raise money on. You have to protect your stock. They only do these things in AI and they talk about these things and they roll out all these integrations and they focus so heavily on marketing and marketing share because they're not as close as they say they are. Because if they were, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't care about marketing. Because if they broke through first, they would own the entire market. That's my logic. That's why I think the AI overlords are further away than we think. DJ Zeno, DJ Zeno, appreciate you, brother. Keep up the good work. my base noticing Asian brother, where can I donate that isn't a gay ass super chat? I'll do an episode on well poisoning. Appreciate you, man. If you want to support me, go to vp.net and look, double ad. Go to vp.net. If you want to support me, support the VPN. That is the best thing you do to help me right now, because this is where all my mind, capacity, effort, energy has gone into. And supporting my project and supporting our project, supporting our business is the best way to support me. I've put literally everything into this business. So much so that we are literally going to be going up and fighting Israeli billionaires over what we truly believe. This shit is not easy. This shit is not cheap. This shit is kind of low-key dangerous. There are agencies in the world that will not like the fact that we have built a technology that it is impossible to build a backdoor. There are agencies in the world that will not like what we've done. Personal privacy, personal security is something that I actually have to consider every single day. I may have to move the podcast. I may have to move my house one day. I may have to think about where I live. I may have to worry about how I travel, because we have literally built a technology that is impossible to build backdoors. It's actually dangerous. My wife doesn't know that. She's probably not going to like that very much. But it's what we did because we believe in it. So if you want to support what we're doing, support the VPN. If you want to support what we're doing, share the show, share the VPN, tell your friends. When they're like, oh yeah, I just downloaded Express. Like, no, that's just bullshit. Download this one. Tell your friends. That really helps me out. Go follow us on Instagram. Go follow us on Twitter and share that shit. Help me. I really appreciate it. All right. Enough double box. Let's see here. Base Mulatto here too. Sar. Getting the VP net. Thank you. Thank you. I really think it's the best one. I use it every day. You know? And I use it on my phone. I use it on my phone. I use it on my computer. Like, it's what I do. It's just become a workflow. It sits in a sys tray and, you know. Looking like a pro in his white collar. Go, Matt. Thank you. Decided to get dressed up for today. It's actually a big day. You know? It's better than Tor. It's better than Tor because it's like usable speed. You know? Like Tor is like unusably slow. Like you can't use Netflix on Tor. It's like hard IP, you know? So it's definitely better than Tor because it's usable speed. Tor is like, Tor has like fringe use cases, but you can't browse on it every single day. It's actually impossible. It's too slow. As far as, we do have an affiliate program built within vp.net. So if you want to help, if you want to help promote the product, if you want to make a few bucks promoting the product, definitely sign up for the affiliate. Basically, if you sign up for an account, then you get an affiliate code with a link and you can make commissions based on lifetime of the user. We pay lifetime commissions, meaning that if someone were to sign up through your account, then you can commission on that account as long as they are a user. So definitely, if you want to make a few bucks, if you believe what we're doing, if you want to help us grow, sign up for the affiliate program. It's kind of cool. Drop links all over the country, all over the world, all over the internet, put them in your stories, whatever you want, and make a few bucks. Let's make a few bucks together. It is available. If you're like, damn, I wish I had a way to supplement income. Dude, this VPN is a good one. It is a blue C because we are the only VPN with an actual differentiating factor. Did you use any Mossad programmers to code this? No. Zero Mossad programmers. Actually, our programming team is 2 people. They're my co-founders, 2 people I know personally extremely well that believe in freedom, that believe in cryptography, that have been a part of the Freedom Tool movement since day one. We do not have any Mossad programmers on our team. Actually, we have zero outsourcing on our programming, and we've done it all in-house. Whitney Webb, I've reached out to her. She hasn't reached out back, so I don't know. Did you know you can hire a third world coder for dollars an hour to build your platform? Yeah, we don't do any outsourcing of our coding. Coding is actually really important, and we have to be able to understand every single thing that's written and everything that is coded and written. So we don't do any outsourcing on our coding. Everything stays in-house. It's just the way it is. But fortunately, we have 2 of the best coders in the world, meaning that they are 10x coders. They can produce what other 10 people would be able to do. And if you're talking about third world coders, then we can do 100x what they can do in the same amount of time or even quicker. Comments. Winnie doesn't like interviews. Yeah, I tried to reach out to her, and a lot of people try to connect us. I don't know why. They haven't connected. What else? No Mossad, no Chinese handlers. Actually, I don't think we actually got a notice from Apple App Store saying that they can't publish our VPN in China because we don't comply with the Chinese regulations rules. I think that people in China can download the APK and install it on the phones for their Google device, but we can't. App Store wouldn't put us in China. They said no. We will probably collaborate with Candace Owens sometime in the near future. We do have a lot of mutuals. We just haven't connected yet, but we eventually will. A lot of the collaborations and a lot of the things that we can do, I've been putting it off for the last 4 months because I've been working on this. But now that we're kind of in a growth mode and a promotion type of mode, we'll be doing a lot of shows. So we'll probably do Jake Shields show, probably do Myron show, probably collaborate with those guys. Probably do something with Candace, doing something with Ian. Maybe we'll go back to the Hodge twins. I'm not exactly sure yet. But we'll do different things around the country. Yeah, Whitney Webb would be a good promoter of this product. I agree. I know that I think James Lee is going to help us promote this a little bit. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of his, and a few other people. So we're gonna get a lot of promotion going out. It's just day one of releasing the product. Actually, the first thing I want to do after kind of making our product available for download and for sale is I wanted to come online and talk to you guys because I kind of wanted you guys to be the first to know. Skip my question, Fentanyl Floyd. I'll put it back up and I will see it again. It scrolled up. I don't know. Jake Shields' interview style reminds me of Chris Farley. Yeah, I'm gonna go out to Vegas. Jake Shields in Vegas. I'm gonna go out to Vegas probably within the month, and we'll do some stuff and hang out with Jake. Have a kind of an open invite with them. Said basically, whenever in Vegas, come by. So we'll go to Vegas. Been wondering where you are. Charis, thank you. I am here. Been working, been busy, trying to get our product off the ground. And yeah, been working. You know, like the podcast doesn't fund itself. We don't do ads. We don't do ad reads. The only ad reads I do are my own. And if we're going to do that, then we're going to do. Not a long time follower, been for months. Thank you, Mr. Manin. Is a VPN available in the UK? Yes. It's available all over the world. It's on the App Store. The mobile apps are on the App Store, on Google, and on Apple. And we have desktop clients available for Mac OS, Windows, and Linux also. How do you combat the back pill? How do you stay somewhat happy? I don't know. I think I think there's idea that the black pill is that the the future is inevitable, and it's like very 1984, meaning that you can see what's going to happen and there's nothing you do about it, because that's the ending of 1984, right? Is that the Sylvan future is coming and you can't do anything to change it. And I just don't agree with that. I don't believe in giving up. I think that there are tools. I think that for the majority of the population, they're fucked. I think that for the people that stay aware, I think that for the population that do keep noticing, I think for the people that continue to build freedom tools, that there is an alternative future in there. I think that that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build alternative ways to communicate via Soju, alternate ways to have privacy online via the VPN. We are working on different ways to be able to communicate via a end-to-end encrypted network anonymized messenger. So there are tools that are being built. The reality is that people don't want to build them for some reason. And every time they build it, they care more about user growth than the actual functionality of giving people true privacy and freedom. So we're going to focus on technology products that actually focus on privacy and user experience and freedom. And if we do that and we're the only company that does it, like, it is what it is. And we may never be the majority. I don't know. But a parallel economy and parallel to this dystopian matrix run future, I think it exists. And I'm very intent on building it and being a huge part of it, because I believe that if you don't do something yourself, it's never going to happen. So we will continue to do that. Why is Matt spending so much time trying to put us into service we don't want? Like, if you don't want it, like, just don't do it. But I believe in it. And I spent a lot of time building it and spent a lot of money doing it and a lot of effort doing it and a lot of my emotion going into it. So, I don't know. Like, why would I not talk about something that I built? Just doesn't make any sense. Your VPN prices are so low. Well, thank you. We try to make it on par with other VPNs. The cost for us to run servers is actually more expensive than a traditional VPN, because when you have a traditional VPN, you can use pretty much the lowest cost servers out there. We have very specific servers we have to use because we have to route it through these secure enclaves. So we can only use servers that have these Intel SGX processors. So, our cost per server is a little bit higher, but we want to be cost competitive because we want to grow, we want to scale, we want more people to do it. And I think as people add on, and our team is lean. You don't have like this crazy huge team of like all these marketing dollars to like convince people to trust us. What libs do you use and what's your front end guarantee? Open sourced? Yeah, the client is open source. The portion that runs the process within Enclave will be open source soon. We will publish it on our GitLab, the repositories. It should be up shortly. It's not up right now, but it will be. And you will be able to verify that the important processes are the ones that are running inside the secure enclave, that is what is running. That should be up soon, but we will be open sourcing that. I want to stand on a soapbox and grassy field, look to the sky and scream at the top of my lungs, do not redeem! SAR, do not redeem! I want to do that too. Actually, I feel like I want to do that every morning. I actually watched that clip the other day of the do not redeem. That's just hilarious, by the way. That's really funny. The internet needs to be destroyed and rebuilt. I don't think it's possible, though. I think it's just a matter of building parallel processes. I don't think you can rebuild the internet, but but the reality is this: the internet is infinite in size, and right now, what we are is we're built into. We have these borders and walls built around us on an infinite internet, but we're only allowed to be on one small corner of it. They trap us into one small side of an infinite sized internet. It's not about building another internet. It's about building in the dark space that is currently available that we're not allowed in. Get your terms right, people. He's not shilling 90 for people. He's grifting a project to make money. Isn't that more proper to say? Lol. No. If we wanted to build a VPN just to shill, we would not have gone through the difficulty of building a unique architecture. We would have built a VPN just like every other VPN that can spy on you, that can track your data. I would have made it a third of the price. It would have been the cheapest VPN out there, and we could have done fine. And I could have made a ton of money doing that, by the way. We chose to go the route that's less traveled, that no one has ever done before, to go out of our way to build a technology that's never been done, to do it the more difficult path because it actually provides value to the world. If this was purely a money grab, I would have built the VPN in literally 2 days that every other VPN does because that is available, put our name on it, shielded it like everything else, and it would have had no differentiating factor and just priced it just cheaper than all the competitors and just try to do that game. That would have been the money grab. Could have done that, by the way. Very easy to do. We chose not to do that. So to say that this is purely money grab is just infinitely, adamantly incorrect. Because we could have gone that route. We chose not to. I watched tech sector change as techs were used to force investigation, providing warrants. Now techs just fold to authority. That is true. Again, that's why this method of doing things is so important. To build an actual, they call it a virtual privacy network. And if you really think about it, they've been telling us this entire time, virtual privacy network, virtual. It means not real. This entire time, they've been telling us, like to our face, that the VPN virtual privacy network is not really private. They've been telling us. That's why our company is vp.net. The V does not stand for virtual, but verified. It is a verified privacy network. You can go into your client and you can verify that your client and your connection is secure 24/7. You don't have to wait for these biannual audits. Because when you do a biannual audit, they're like, oh, look. And have you ever actually read one of these audits? Because I know people say, oh, look, there's an audit. The audit's been done. Have you ever read one? I have. It's bullshit. All it is between this time period and this time period, they did not log. What does that prove? That over the course of 2 weeks, that there is no proof that they logged. What does that actually prove? It proves nothing. These VPN providers say that they don't log and they give you a security audit by this random accounting firm. And they're like, look, we didn't log. Since when are accounting firms privacy and security and technology experts, by the way? And they're like, look, they didn't log for 2 weeks. What did they do 1 minute before the audit started? What did they do 1 minute after the audit started? What did the data centers do that's outside the purview of the company itself? They don't tell you that because they don't know, because that's not what they're auditing. So these security audits that the VPN companies are literal bullshit. It's privacy theater. And you're like, that's why I don't use a VPN. Great. But if you use a VPN, bullshit. I'm telling you, it's bullshit. I just know. It's bullshit. Do retain logs on a server? No, we do not have the ability to log. It is technically, physically, literally impossible for us to log. We can prove that we cannot log if the government agency or any agency were to say, hey, we need to see the logs. We say we cannot log. Here's the proof that we do not have the ability to log. And you can subpoena us all day long. And I will stand in front of Congress and I will say, we cannot give you the records or the data because we physically do not have the ability to do so. That is how the system is designed. Mulvad has the ability to log. They do. Every single VPN prior to our VPN, they all operate the exact same. They just have differences in their corporate company policy. They will say, no, like we don't do this. And another company says, no, we don't do this. And another company says, no, we don't do this. But they all have the ability to. Their privacy is a policy choice. Our privacy is policy by design. It is completely different. We do not have the ability to track you. It's impossible. Yeah, I like Molvad too. I liked them. And when there was no other better option around, like, they were a good option. But we've created something that is completely different. And people will eventually get it. It's going to take time. It's like customer education, but Molvad, Proton, Express, Nord, these are trust-based systems. Although they have the technical ability to track you and the ability to log you, you have to trust that they will not. We are a zero trust system, trustless system. You don't actually have to trust us at all because we don't have the ability to do it. You can hate me all you want, but the technology does not allow you to trust. Does not allow you to track and to log and compromise. It is very different. So if you please check it out, I'm going to do another quick promo because I've been talking for an hour and a half. I want to take a quick break. In the meantime, watch a promo, go sign up, do the vp.net. I'm going to come back, quick promo time, because why not? Let's promo. In the meantime, check in SAR.
Your VPN can spy on you. Not saying they are, not saying they would, but they can. That's the problem. That's just how they're built. VPNs run on trust. They toss around phrases like no logs, but what that really means is trust us. Trust us not to monitor, not to save, not to share. But here's the catch. In America, are we supposed to trust foreign companies in Israel, Romania, Panama, Switzerland to keep that promise? To not sell our data, to not cave under pressure, to not betray us if a government comes knocking? Can we really trust that? Maybe you can. But in a world drowning in surveillance, leaks, and hacks, we think that's insane. That's why we built something different. VP.net, the world's first verified privacy network. No more trusting companies, no more empty promises, just cryptographic proof in real time that we can't see your traffic, even if we wanted to, even if someone begged us to, even if a court ordered us to. All traffic runs inside Intel SGX secure enclaves, cryptographic vaults where not even we can peek inside. This isn't privacy by policy, it's privacy by design. It's a game changer. Once you know VP.net exists, you can't unsee it. You'll never look at VPN the same again because your traffic belongs to you and no one else. VP.net, using a legacy VPN today, it's like using Hotmail.
Do you know how it's a serious day today? It's a serious day because I got a caller on. That's just how it is. The reptilian makes me trust you less. It's not a reptilian. It's a frog. It's a frog. Frog, 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 frog. There are oh, frog, it's a lizard man. It's a lizard man. Oh, there's a lizard man. There's a lizard man. What do you think of the Hackers 1995 movie? I don't remember it, to be honest. It's been a while. Can I sign up with my name and use prepaid card? You can. Right now, you need an email to sign up. We will be adding privacy coin and gift card options in the future where you don't need to do that. But again, we do not have the ability to correlate users with their traffic. It is the unique feature of our VPN. It is impossible, meaning that we cannot correlate. Who is this Graham guy? Why is he being a shit? Why is he being like so negative? Graham, don't give him money, damn it. Damn it, Graham, don't give him money. Eat a dick, Graham. I thought it looked exactly like you. Kind of looks like me. Does it look like me? No, hold on. Let me see. Does a frog look like me? No, how about that frog? Is that frog better? Kind of looks like me. I get it. Yeah. Graham just, oh, I'm crying. Damn. I bet you Graham works for the competing VPN companies. You know? VPN is not Israel approved. We have no ties to Israel. We are actually probably one of the only VPNs that is not tied to Israel. That's actually a really important factor. It's, building a technology company, especially in privacy and security, without working with the Israeli is actually not easy because they have their hands in all of it. Actually, I think that's one of the biggest moneymakers for Israel is privacy companies and security companies. So to do it in that space it's actually not that easy to do. We're trying. I don't know why Graham hates me. There's no reason to hate me. I think of anyone on the internet. I think of anyone on the internet. I may be the one of the only that just like literally speaks just to speak. Meaning like I don't really have an agenda. I'm like wrong all the time. But I'm at least honest and genuine. It's like what I believe at the time I say it. I don't like overthink things. I literally think out loud. A lot of times when you watch a podcast, you're like, man, where'd you think of it? Like, dude, I don't know. Like, I have this, I've had this conversation before. Some people, when they speak, they hear this voice in their head and they think before they talk. I can't do that, actually. I don't have the ability to think about something before the words come out. The words come out as my thoughts come out. So everything I say out loud is literally what I'm thinking in my head. I don't have the ability to separate the two. And some people do. Like it's this idea of like inner voice, right? Like, do you hear an inner voice? And I don't. I don't have like multiple conversations in my mind. I don't think, like, as I say the words, it's literally how my brain is operating. So some people like think about something and they say like, think before you talk. I'm like, how do you do that? I actually don't know how to do that. The words come out as I think. I don't have an internal voice. Maybe no filter. I don't know. I don't have the ability to. And I've tried. I've tried to like, sometimes, you've seen like these movies or cartoons where you have like these two competing voices in your mind and try to do that. And it's not like I don't have the ability to do it. It just literally just all my words are just like brain farts of my mind. Will the VPN replace all my ads with Mossad propaganda? Possibly. No. It takes time to develop. It does take time, Matt. That has limitations for developing. The mind is a muscle. Yeah, I don't. I've tried to be more thoughtful, or I don't know. I think there's this idea in my mind that it makes me more disingenuous because I'm pre-thinking about the things I want to say out loud. But the reality is that for me, it just comes out. It's why I talk on the internet, I think, because I don't process. It's why I talk quickly, because it literally comes out at the rate of speech in which I talk. And I don't hear it until it's just how it comes out. Can you visualize the words like you were typing them out? Some people who can't think in their mind using the words can't do a visualize. If it's visualized in text, no. My brain is wired in a way where my thoughts just come out my words. So there's nowhere to filter. I don't really filter because I don't have the ability to filter. It just comes out that way. How trustworthy are servers you use? The servers are the more important part about the servers that we use are the Intel SGX enclaves. So when we say zero trust, actually there is a little bit of trust. You have to trust that Intel's hardware works as advertised and promoted. So Intel creates these enclaves called Intel SGX secure enclaves, and again they're used for hardware, for like very high level key signature verifications, and you would have to trust. You have to trust that Intel's hardware works the way it is. And if Intel's hardware does not work the way it is, then we actually have a bigger systemic problem in the world because now we can't trust Intel anymore. Keep up the good work, buddy. You're working good. Thank you, Baron. I appreciate you. You aren't eternalizing. I'm trying. And the chat is being weird because like there's certain things that you can say and can't say. Yes, the chat is moderated not by me but by the AI YouTube overlords. So just keep that in mind. I can't do anything about that. Yeah. Props for admitting you have to trust Intel. Most won't be so honest. Huge respect. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we say zero trust and we try to be as zero trust as possible, but the reality is that your network traffic does go through Intel SGX secure enclaves. And does Intel SGX secure enclaves perform as advertised? Do they do what they promise to do? And with all the key signatures and highly confidential key signatures throughout the world, from the banking industry to cryptocurrency industry, using that space, someone would figure it out that it doesn't work as advertised. But yes, is it likely? Very unlikely. But is there a certain level of trust? Yes, you have to trust Intel. You don't have to trust me. You don't have to trust that we're doing something that we're not doing. The only thing you actually have to trust is that does Intel's hardware work the way it's advertised as such? And if there was ever a problem, would they not close that vulnerability immediately? And Intel, let's be real, if there's a problem with Intel's hardware, they're going to close that immediately and patch it. But yes, there is a small level of trust there. I hope, Graham, you use a free VPN. You will not only get shit bandwidth, but they are definitely logging, tracking, saving all your information. And if all you want to do is have a shit connection to a shit IP, go for it. If you actually care, not everyone cares. Yes, the Intel chips are constantly, there's an attestation that's built into those clients. So basically, is Intel's SGX enclave secure, is safe, is running the updated code, and is the enclave running the code that we say it's running? So every time you connect to a client, it verifies that connection, so you cannot connect to a compromised server. That's how our system is built. I truly believe that some person out there does hold the master key to the internet. I wonder. Your default payment settings are using the save link profile. This requires a phone number. You should allow the option to not save link payment on your default payment page. Yeah, you can just use credit card or whatever other payment process you want. Like, we don't actually keep any of the payment information. It all goes through Stripe. So yeah, Stripe's the only one that has the payment information. And we use Stripe because obviously it's just easier and they process everyone and it's what everyone else can do. VPN, wow, you can build a VPN in a day. Damn, Graham. Why are you here like being such a hater? You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason to do that. You know, like, so mad at life. You know, you can't just let people like do their thing. You know? Yeah, there's a lot of information, Baron. There's a lot of information about Intel SGX on both Intel's website. Actually, they go very deep into it. So if you want to, learn more about it, there's actually unlimited reading out there on it. Intel SGX has been around a long time. Yeah, Graham's probably a spy from the other people. Lexi, I know some ignorant people in the chat. It's fine. You know, like even the most ignorant or the biggest haters, I truly believe that if they stick around long enough, they actually become fans or they become believers and we convince them one at a time. Actually, when I first started posting on Instagram, I actually had people message me and they'd be like, Matt, I don't know why I listen to what you say online. Like, I hate everything that you say. And I used to have these trolls that used to troll me every single time I post. And out of nowhere, like the biggest troll, like probably Graham, it's probably one of those trolls. He used to troll me every single time I post anything. And one day, I think like after a year of trolling me every day, he sent me a DM. He said, Matt, I hate you, but this one I agree with. And it just became a thing over time. Like, people, if they stick around long enough, they realize that, like, I'm not a fake person, obviously. And, like, I just say what I believe. And that I don't have a huge ulterior motive to what I do. And I think once people understand that they're more open to my ideas. Because some of my ideas are out there. You know, like, I had a lot of people mad at me when I said I don't think there's as many illegal immigrants in this country as that we were told. People got fucking mad at me. People got really mad at me when I said that, I don't like the fact that all these AI people are hanging out with Trump after the election. People got really mad at me. People got really mad at me. Then I said that this whole Iran thing a year ago, that the whole Iran thing is going to be a huge psyop, and we're going to see it a year later. And people got really mad at me. And the reality is, like, looking back, it's like, fuck, I was right about a lot of it. But I don't know. I don't want to rub it in your face. But yeah, I fucking told you so. But, you know, over time, you know, and sometimes I'm wrong. I can be wrong about shit. Of course. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to be right about everything. But make a client just for him, which replaces the frog logo with a troll logo. I like the frog. I think, you know, because when we were coming up with the concept of why we were doing the frog, and obviously we were thinking about Pepe the Frog, and we were thinking about the frog, and it's really easy for a privacy company to be really boring, to lack character, to be uninteresting. So we wanted to add a mascot that we thought kind of had a little bit of edge, that was a little bit interesting, that was a little bit more memorable. So throughout the site, there's like various versions of frogs, and they're like fun. It's supposed to be interesting, you know, because we just want it to be a little bit different. How do you differentiate yourself in a space that is like so kind of boring sometimes? You know? I don't think too many people like the God-fearing diaper commercial. I don't know. Like, you could not like it, you can like it. I like those people. Like, and she's talking about the interview we did with the Every Life company. They reached out. They're like friends of friends. I know them well, and like, hey, we're doing this thing. Can you like interview us for the pod? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? You know, like, I don't know. I'm a God-fearing person. I'm a Christian. I believe in family, and it's like their messaging. So like, maybe it's not for everyone. Maybe that episode wasn't the most popular one, but I don't know. They believe in what I believe. And if I can use that to promote ideas that I think about and I care about, then why not? You know, like, it costs me nothing to put up an episode, really. You know, like, I don't have overhead. You know, I just talk about whatever I want to do. What about the VPN Anonymous is selling? Every single VPN in the world operates exactly the same. I'm telling you, it's a matter of marketing and policy difference, but how they actually physically operate is the same. You connect to their server, they get all of your data, and they know exactly where you're going. Every single VPN in the world, that's how they operate. They may choose to delete it. They may choose to not save it. They may choose to say that they're doing something different with it, but 100% of VPNs work the exact same. You connect to a server, they have access to all of your information, and then it takes you to where you want to go. Every single VPN in the world operates that way. We are literally the only VPN in the world where in the middle, we do not know where you're going. The only VPN in the world. It's actually a big deal. We took something that is a huge market industry, which is VPN. Every single VPN does it exactly the same. Every single VPN in the world has the ability to look at what you're doing. Whether or not they look and whether or not save is their choice. You are trusting that they will not. Every VPN in the world. 100% of every VPN in the world. That's how they were on. We are the only VPN in the world that physically cannot see what is doing. There's no VPN, all your information is out there waiting to be sold. I'm telling you, we don't know. I don't know what you're doing. And that's really important to say confidently, because one day, if they subpoena me and they say, give me Zavi's information, I have to say, I don't know. And I can't give it to you. And look, I can prove to you that I can't give it to you. It's actually really important, because otherwise I cannot live in the United States. I cannot run this business out of the United States, and I would have to be overseas. It's the only way. The not save option is behind the manual account creation flow, which people don't. You should edit the default payment from form to add, not save option. If you're serious about it, you should take my advice. I bet it'll increase 30%. Something we will look into. Checkout flow is something that we are constantly looking for feedback on, because obviously the checkout flow program is very important. Robert, Unicode Pug. You can have packages. Smallest package, the current package. The second is a Pepe package. Third is a Grover package. Biggest package is a Guma Bunta package. That's funny. Is that why people move to Singapore? People are moving to various countries, especially if you're in the cryptography space, if you're in the cryptocurrency space, because they want to avoid laws. Because once you have the ability to get user information, you have to give it up. And just because you go to another country doesn't mean they're not doing it, by the way. That's why we registered here in the United States, because we are the only company that does not have the ability to log or track. If we had the ability to log or track, I couldn't live here. I actually couldn't do this business, because I would not be honest with you. We would have a huge problem in how we operate, and we would not be private. Then I can't do this company. I only do this company because I really believe in what we're doing, and I believe in the technology that we have. 40% of people do not have an inner voice. Interesting. I do not have one. And to everyone that has been signing up, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Every time you sign up, you're supporting the podcast, you're supporting me, you're supporting what I do. And I know it looks like we got the 6th studio, and I got my fancy shirt on today, and it looks like, oh, Matt does really well in life. Got a nice watch, whatever else. The reality is that I've put everything I have into this business, everything I have into this podcast. The studio we built by hand, we built it ourselves. We didn't hire someone to do it. We built it ourselves the way we think we should be done, the way we want it, the way I thought was most interesting. YouTube does not let us make money. Instagram does not let me make me money. X does not let me make money. The few people that are supporters of the show are what support everything that we do. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. The website is JavaScript. The website is just a website. It does not connect you to your traffic. It's a website. Like, how many JavaScript list websites can you really go to these days? It's not easy. It's not easy to do. Great podcast, truly mental. Thank you very much. Lexi, thank you. I'll tell my friends and family about it. Definitely need to support base creators. I appreciate that. We do have an affiliate program. So if you are going to tell your friends, give them your affiliate link. They will sign up to it. You will get a commission based on the people that sign up. That is how we rolled out our marketing. I could pay a bunch of marketing companies to do the marketing for us, but we'd rather support the people that support us and give the money back to those that support our product rather than pay a bunch of marketing companies and PR firms to do all the work for us. So that is our business model. So definitely go in. If you go into your dashboard once you sign up, or if you go to the website, you go to the bottom, you look for affiliates, there is a way to sign up and do that. We're going to do more interviews. Are you talking about RW? Are you talking about interviews myself or interview more people? JM, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Sir, how does one go about getting interest-free loan? If you do not know the answer to that, you're not a person that will get it. The people that know. Matt is controlled opposition. Eat a dick. Damn. If you were controlled opposition, I've asked this question before. If you're a controlled opposition, do you always know that you're controlled opposition? Or can you be controlled opposition without knowing? For example, if you talk about a certain product or you talk about a certain topic and the algorithm, because they want you to keep on talking about it, they give you a bunch of views and a bunch of likes. So you keep on talking about it. If you are talking about a topic and they don't want you talking about it anymore, they demonetize you, they give you they reduce your reach, they reduce your views, and therefore there was a topic that you actually care about, but you stop talking about it. That person, for example, may not know they're being controlled. They may think, oh, my user base just doesn't like this, so I'm not going to talk about it any longer. Is that controlled opposition? Could you be controlled without even knowing, or willingly be controlled? I don't know. That's an interesting thought. I think about that a lot. What about the Intel backdoors like Intel Me? Intel also has involved with Israel. Every technology company in the world is involved in one way, shape, or form with Israel. If you don't like the hardware, then you cannot be on pretty much any single phone or device, or you can't even be on YouTube. So there is a threshold in which you have to accept as being a part of this world. Right? I don't want Chinese. in my technology. Okay, then turn your iPhone off, turn your Galaxy off, turn your Android off, turn off everything, turn off the internet, turn off your TV, turn off every single device you have, and maybe you'll be able to do it and go completely off grid. But then you wouldn't be here. You're controlled the same way Myra's controlled. How is he controlled? I don't know how they're controlled. What do I know? Why do we never see the back of Matt's head? Because it hides Yannicka. Fuck. Fucking asshole. Dick. Fine. See the back of my head. I'm not like balding or anything, am I? I think my hair looks good today. Why do we not see the back of Matt's head? What a dick. Ever seen the movie Tenet? I have not seen the movie Tenet. I'm going to write that down. There's like 2 movies that you guys have been mentioning today that I kind of want to check out. You guys talked about Tenet and the movie Hackers. I'm kind of curious. I'm going to check out both. I put it both on my list. Haters doesn't like someone that looks Asian speaking truth. Matt is a solid American and the haters' heads are exploding. Thank you. Your hair is not in Justin Bieber's hair condition. Huh. It's because I don't really use the, baby oil. Oh, wow. Tenet. That's a thing, huh? Yeah, what's Tenet about? What is this Tenet thing? I'm looking it up. It's a new movie. New war movie. Christopher Nolan. Oh, nice. I'm going to watch it. I've added it to my list of shit to watch. Do you know what? Andrew. Andrew convinced me to get what is it? The X-Real Pro. It's like those AR glasses so that you can have the monitor in your glass. So like if you're on a plane or whatever and you don't want to have your monitor showing, then you can have the glass on, you can have this huge monitor there. I've been looking for a movie to like check that out in, because you can lay there and you have this thing and you can watch it, whatever. I want to try it. Maybe that's what I'll watch, Tenet. How does YouTube not let you make money, but they give me ads on live? What the hell? If SGX is outdated, do you have a contingency plan? Yeah, so the XGX has to update, and they push software up all the time. Our servers would get updated as is. They are also rolling out a new type of secure enclave, so we'll be building for that new one also. It's just not as adopted yet, so we can't use it because there's just not enough servers out there, but TDX. So we will be adapting to TDX and to future implementations. So right now it's about a growing market share in a technology that is usable and able to get. And then we will be growing into, the future generations of these secure enclaves in the future. How'd you make initial money? Light bulbs? Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of different businesses in my life. I started my first business, I think, when I was 22, and I've been doing businesses kind of always. I've always been an entrepreneur. I'm always had different businesses. The last big business I did was the lighting company, and but that was years ago. COVID really crushed that business, and and then somehow I got into podcasting. Podcast makes the money. I've been kind of burning cash to get to this point, and we found this new technology company, and this technology company is gonna bring us back. Any thoughts on the Israelis-Iran war? Yeah, that I can like talk about the war a lot, but I think it's just I don't think we have enough information. I feel like since the first time people started mentioning it, like people have been talking out of their ass with no context, and there's no context available, and there's not enough information, and everyone's just wrong every single turn. Every day, people are wrong on the Israeli war. It doesn't matter which side you're on of the war. Whatever people say, they're wrong 24 hours later. And then they say something, and we get news, and then we find out that's wrong 12 hours later, and 12 hours later, it's wrong again. It's wrong again. It's wrong again. It's wrong again. We're at such a point where the whole entire war is so psyop based, and it's just propaganda that I try not to comment on it right now, because whatever I say today, 12 hours later, I'm going to look like an asshole. And 12 hours after that, I'm going to look like an asshole. All I know is that I've been calling it for over a year, that this is going to happen, that this is a part of the plan. Where it goes to, I don't know. If it becomes a big thing this week, or if it becomes a big thing 6 months later, or it becomes a big thing on October 7th of 2025, I don't know. But it will eventually be a thing, a serious thing. I just don't know if it's today or not, because we just don't have enough information. All the information we get on that war is so controlled and propaganda-y. It's actually impossible to make like an educated thought and decision on that. So, I mean, I've been thinking about it. Obviously, everyone's thinking about it. Everyone's talking about it. But at this point, you guys have to have fatigue. And maybe that's the point. Maybe the point right now is to get people talking about it, get the idea of it normalized to a certain degree, let it die out. So when they really bring it back officially, people are like, oh yeah, of course. And they accept it. I think that's actually the most likely situation. I don't think this is the big one. I think right now it's normalizing the idea of war. They want to normalize in your mind, in your heart, that this can happen, that this is okay to happen because you've seen this movie already. And then when it actually does happen, people are like fatigued. People have wired their brains in the way to already accept it as truth and fact, and they can do whatever they want. So be very aware, keep noticing, because I think that's where we are right now. I actually don't think this is the big one. I think this is all a part of the reframing and retraining of our brains and minds. Do you think Greater Israel will happen in a lifetime? I think they want to. I think they want it to happen. I think for sure they want it to happen. I think it will happen in our lifetime. Yeah, I think we have a little time before that happens, but I don't know that. If you believe in Greater Israel and you believe in what's happening and you are into eschatology at all, like am I, then, my timeline says we're about 2 years. I don't know. 2 years, maybe something happens. Maybe we find out, what I do know, if you believe in eschatology, if you do any reading and studying of end times, then what you do know is that there is a time where they limit communication, that they limit reach, that they limit, that they persecute Christians, that is a thing. And I think about that actually from time to time. Is any technology that we build going to help us at that time? And I try to build tools that actually will, like that if we ever come into that time where like it's it and we need to protect ourselves and we need to communicate and we need to be able to survive, like will this tool be useful at that time? And the reality is that, if it becomes an energy problem, then no tool is useful. But if we live in this world, then a parallel way to communicate, it's actually going to be important. So everything we do, we try to create so that actually does happen. Is the 555 month the nod to the 555 angel code? No, we just took the dollar amount and divided it by month. And it just happens to be 555. That's just pure luck or non-luck. I don't know. I don't know how to consider that, but that is, it just kind of happened. There is no like rhyme or reason to that, actually. I'm investing hella into XRP holding and trading, but that shit's like market the beast. Yeah, I'm not. I like crypto for the use in which I use, which is like commerce. I like to send people crypto as payment. I like to receive crypto. I like to use it in a way that it was intended. But as far as speculative investing into crypto, like I did that. I played around that in 2018, 19, 17, 18. I did a lot of crypto then and speculative crypto. This cycle, I did none. I don't know. I'm trying to stay away from speculative chasing. You know, I think it puts people in a really interesting mind space. I feel like it alters the way I think and alters the way I make decisions because I'm chasing money, and I try to chase purpose. I try to chase mission. I feel like my mental health is better when I live that way. When I'm so concerned about like money, I don't know. I actually don't feel very happy. I feel like if you provide value to the world and if you create a product and a business that actually provides value to people, not takes value, but gives value, I think making money comes with that just as a natural byproduct. I really do believe that. You know, if you build a business where you are trying to extract from people, if I'm trying to take value from you, it's not going to end well. Like I just not something I get excited about, something that I want to do. But if I can create a business where I give value to people, I think that's better. I am not a pro trader. I don't trade. I don't trade at all. Yeah, I stopped trading like years ago. You know, I did play around with cryptocurrency, not at the earliest stage, at like 2016, 17, 18. But since then, I have stuff that just sits there and I don't even know like what it's worth. Shirley does. Giving value should be all of our goals. Martin Lee Cusick. I agree. I think if every business and every business person ran their business where how do I provide value to my users, provide value to my customers, how do I provide value to society around me? Actually, I think this whole capitalism thing works better. I think the problem with what our system that we have is that all the biggest businesses in the world, their goal, their master goal is to extract value from you. They don't care about the product they give you. Every decision they make is how do we take from you? How do we take from the customer? How do we steal your data? How do we force you into other products? How do we convince you to buy something you don't need? Like that's business these days. And I don't like that. I don't think that's a sustainable model. I think that's why we got into this kind of crazy world that we got in, is because people only want to take and no one wants to give any longer. But I think if we give and you continue to give, I think even if it's a simple mission, just as much as I want to run a business where I provide value to my customers and the users, just by that small selfless act, I think you're bettering society. I really do. So if you run a business, I hope that's something that you keep in your mind, keep in your heart, that how do I provide value to my customer? And if you're providing value always, I think they're going to be loyal. I think they're going to respect you. I think they're going to be more willing to share your information with their friends and their family because they believe that you are trying to give them value. And the currency and the money is just a medium of exchange, you know? But if your goal is how do I steal money from people? Dude, it's not a good business. The medieval guild system worked pretty well. Bounties and quests for doing tasks are pretty awesome. That's why people love RPGs. Yeah, figuring out how to gamify your business is also interesting. Something I've been thinking about, like gamification of business and users. Haven't figured that one out, but I've been thinking about that. Would you ever have Dan Bilzerian podcast? Maybe. I think when I go to Vegas, I think I want to go see him. And then we'll decide if we have him on the podcast. It starts with raising families. Be there. Instilling values. That should be our business, not commerce. Trees grow food. Water falls from the sky. Stop paying taxes. Become skilled. Squat land. Start there. I agree. I think if people focused from inward out, meaning that take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your neighbor, take care of your friends. And if that becomes your focus and that's what your metric is on success in life, I think that you're going to be happier in life and you're going to be more successful. When you try to dictate your life and how the world perceives you, I think like that's really lonely place to be because you're just a dot in the sea of nothing. You know, value the people around you, value your friends, your family. It's the most important thing actually. And if you keep your circle small, you have less people to worry about, less people to care for. And if you provide value to those around you, your network naturally grows. Because people like to be around positive people. People like to be around honest, genuine people. People like to be around people that add value to conversations. So, you know, try to be someone that provides value. And if you provide value to those around you, the people that don't agree with you will eventually come to you because you're the one that provides value. It's just the way that life works. What's perception of factor in your networking? The way I think about networking is, you know, like if I go to a meeting or I'm with a group of people and it's maybe a networking type event where I'm supposed to meet people, my goal is to meet people. Then my goal in every interaction I do, and even if it's a brand new conversation, my thought is, how do I give them an idea or a thought that maybe they hadn't considered before? How do I provide value by offering something to them that helps them in their life? And if I can provide value or an idea or a thought to a person that I just met, then it makes me more memorable. It makes them that if I ever call them for something, that they are much more willing to answer my phone call because my one interaction with them, I gave value to them first. If I go to a network meeting and I go to a networking meeting and I'm just trying to take value from the person I met, when I call them or I try to message them after our first meeting, they're going to be like, oh, I kind of don't want to answer this guy's phone call because he's going to ask me for some shit. You've all been there. You meet them, as soon as you meet them, oh, they're just selling. And when you're selling, they don't want to answer your phone call. But if the first interaction that I've ever had with someone, I provided value to their life, they're going to be very excited to answer my phone call because maybe I'll provide value again. That's how I think. That's how I try to do. So I try to add value to the people around me at all times, even if it's just a simple idea, if it's a thought, if it's an encouragement, if it's just being there to listen to a problem that they may have or to help them solve a problem even better. But if I can add value to someone's life around me, then they are very more likely to introduce me to their network. They are more likely to invite me to more networking type events. They are more willing to vouch for me because they know if they introduce me to their network, I'm not there to take, but I'm there to give. That's how I approach every networking opportunity, every single personal meeting that I have. And because of that, that's been like the way I've lived my life for many years now. And because of that, I've been able to meet some of the most interesting people in the world. No one's ever I've never forced anyone to introduce me to somebody. It's always like, hey, why don't you meet this guy? Or hey, Matt, can I connect you with them? Or hey, meet Matt, he's pretty cool. Every single interaction I've ever had has been through that warm transfer. When you get introduced by a warm transfer than a cold, it's infinitely better. I don't ever focus on self. I don't focus on relationship. I don't even focus on a relationship. I'm not thinking, how do I become this guy's friend? But that's a relationship. I think, how do I provide value to this person? If we're having a conversation, how do I interject the thought that maybe they hadn't thought of before? If we're talking about a problem, how do I help give an idea or a solution to a problem that maybe hadn't been considered? Offer something unique that's not asking. But because you are a person around them that provided value, they tier you in their life differently. Because in our minds, when we meet people, we naturally tier people, right? We tier people based on our perceived value of what we get from them. If you are a person that provides value, they will naturally tier you higher. Actually, that's the highest tier you can be. Now, how do you connect? Just, hey, can I connect you with X Connect for projects? Yeah, I try to provide value first, and then once we have this understanding and trust that I am not someone to take, then it's easier to be like, hey, this is what I'm working on. I want to tell you about what I'm working on. And that maybe leads into more of a sell, but we've established this baseline of I am someone that gives value, not takes value. Because once someone kind of, like people say first impressions are important, right? Once people put your perception as your first impression as a certain thing, it's really hard to fight that. So if you meet someone like, oh yeah, this guy is going to try to sell me something, it doesn't matter if you try to provide value later. They will always remember you as a person that tried to take. If you can put yourself in their mental hierarchy and relationship memory as someone that wants to give value, when you want to talk about a project, they are more willing to listen carefully. That's what I believe. That's how I do things. I've learned to treat jerks nicely. I just watch myself around them, be more careful. Yeah, I think people are people. I think even people that are dicks and jerks in person, like I don't think most people, not all, I don't think most people want to be bad people. I don't believe most people want to be dicks and assholes and jerks. I don't think they do. I think that people all deal with personal connection differently. I think people are nervous, just like you and I do. I get nervous when I meet people for the first time. I think for a lot of people who are jerks and dicks in person, I think for them it is a self-preservation mode that they go into because people are scared to get hurt. I think all people are that way. People are scared to be hurt. People are scared of rejection. And the people that are the biggest jerks, they're the most fear. They have the highest fear of rejection. So they are dicks and jerks because they're the ones that reject first. But what I've learned is that those people, if you connect with them, like they actually end up being the most loyal because you're one of the few that have been able to pierce that. So when I meet people and they're a dick in person, actually it doesn't bother me. I'm like, oh, that's sad. They're like scared to get rejected. They're scared of like society around them. And, once you kind of break through that, like actually ends up being really good. So I don't mind people that are dicks at first. I actually don't mind weird people at all. My favorite people are the people that are weird. I love weird people because people that are weird to me, it shows that they're comfortable with who they are. Like, oh, that's a weird mannerism. Well, it just means that you're really comfortable with your weird mannerism and you continue to do it, So I like people that are kind of weird. Actually, around me are like fucking weird people. I don't like people that are overly polished because if you're too polished, it seems fake. Like you're doing it on purpose because you want people to perceive you a certain way. But the people that have their weird tendencies, I don't know. There's something really honest about that. I know that people say, I don't like people like men that get overly emotional. Like, I don't mind emotional men actually, because it shows that they're honest with like their feelings. And I'm not an emotional person, so I'm not saying like go be emotional all the time. But, there's this idea that men shouldn't be emotional. No, like I think men should be honest and genuine. And if you're an emotional person, be emotional. If you're a non-emotional person, don't be non-emotional. Like don't fake who you are. I think people are all different. And I think accepting people for who they are actually the best thing to do. Because once you accept people for who they are, then you learn the differences between you and you can kind of make progress and grow. So I don't know. That's how I think. Eccentrics are the best entertainment. Eccentrics are fun. They're fun to be around. Yeah, I guess I focus on Bobby. I guess I focus on relationship, coming off as caring. I guess I gotta be knowledgeable to give value. I think it's like caring is important, but it's just the way people are. People don't often remember the people that care for them. It's unfortunate, but that's just how it is. People don't remember the people that help them selflessly because people are inherently kind of selfish in that way. But people remember people that they got from without asking. It's why people do giveaways, because they want to be memorable. If you can figure out a way to provide value, and it doesn't have to be knowledgeable, It's just being honest with yourself and offering solutions that maybe they hadn't considered, because everyone's perspective is different. Everyone looks at one thing and it can look at it differently. This one person is black, to another person is gray. But if you can offer a unique perspective on that, people remember that. People like the aha moment. The best thing you can give to someone is making them pause and go, huh. They remember the person that gave that moment to them, because that doesn't happen often in life. If you make someone stop and just, I hadn't considered that. And you give them that moment of self-reflection, they go home that night and they think about it again, they remember you. Now you've been permanently ingrained into their memory as a person of value. How about putting trust about love, and you'll end up with a better circle? I agree. I think it's really important to work with people you trust. I think it's really important to surround yourself with people who trust. And if you trust, you trust. I don't think trust is a grayscale. I think trust is binary. You either trust or you don't. I think the fact that a lot of times in society, we try to make trust gray. Like I trust him, but I don't think that works that way. I think trust is binary. You either trust someone or you don't. And if you kind of trust, but if it's a trust, but you actually don't trust them. I believe trust is completely binary. You either trust or you don't. You gotta trust the people you trust. Ted's manifesto is pretty damn good. It's often overlooked as one of the smartest ever. I am a big fan of Ted Kaczynski's manifesto. I believe it, actually. I've read it like maybe 100 times in my life. Actually, if you guys want something to read, I'm going to give this to you, okay? There are two things that I read. There are two manifestos that I read that actually really relate to, that have really kind of formed the way I view the world. And the two things are, one is Ted Kaczynski's manifesto. Not saying what he did is right, like let that part go. But his ideas are really interesting. So Ted Kaczynski's manifesto on society and technology and the effects of technology on society is really important to read. So at one point in your life, you should definitely read Ted Kaczynski's manifesto. I think it's very important to read. I think it's must read. The other one is something called the Cypherpunk Manifesto. It talks about privacy and security and the importance of privacy being yours and your ability to share. I have a very kind of altered quote to it. And what I say is, privacy is your right to choose what information you share. Meaning that all your information belongs to you, and you are the one that should be able to decide what you share. I actually believe that. And I got that idea from the Cypherpunk Manifesto. And that Cypherpunk Manifesto was written something like 2010. So the grandfathers of cryptography knew, as a cryptography, technology, crypto space, where we would be today. And they've warned us about a lot of this stuff. So reading the Cypherpunk Manifesto, you can look it up, Google it, Cypherpunk Manifesto, and looking up the Ted Kaczynski Manifesto, both of those, like those two are kind of tenets of how I view the world. Actually, two of the most important things I've ever read. So highly recommend, highly recommend both readings. They're both like quick reads. You can read it in just a few minutes, but it is definitely worth reading. The Cypherpunk Manifesto and a lot of what we do at vp.net is very much ingrained in that Cypherpunk Manifesto. Actually, in our terms of service, we quote that very many times. So it's something that we refer to over and over again. And over time, you'll see how often I actually quote that. I don't talk about it often, but I quote it all the time. A lot of the ideas I have come from there. So the Cypherpunk Manifesto and the Kaczynski Manifesto, both manifestos, very highly recommend read. All right, quick break. I'm going to give you the quick quick commercial break. I need a commercial. I need drink some water, stretch my legs. I've been going 2.5 hours. It's the longest we've gone in a long time. If you guys want to stick around, I'll stick around with you. Why not? Quick break.
The early internet was the wild, wild west. Strange. Free. We explored, we broke things. And yes, we failed. No rules. And that was beautiful. But times have changed. We hesitate. We censor ourselves because we know they're watching. Surveillance kills curiosity, turning the internet from a frontier of hope into a cage of silence. And your VPN?
Your VPN can spy.
It's based on trust. For let's be real, nobody has ever lied to me, said nobody ever. Yet true privacy is still within reach. VP.net doesn't rely on trust, it runs on real-time proof. Because privacy is about becoming your truest self when no one's watching. So you can be the best you when they are. Otherwise, be an NPC, a digital product, and lose. VP.net, don't trust, verify.
I need like some intro music. Next time we do a stream, we'll be here and we'll have more fun. We will never have privacy again unless each person in the world learns to program their own operating system and code everything themselves or use your own source code. Z Stinson, thank you very much. Andrew, if you're still in here, we're going to do the browser, right? The privacy browser. It's a truly private privacy browser is something that we've been talking about a lot. I think what we're going to do is we're going to roll it out and offer it to the VPN users only. So we're not going to make it a public browser because actually we can't control the privacy in the browser if you're not using a certain VPN, and we can't let you use another VPN because the other VPNs aren't private. So the only way it actually works is that we have to have a privacy browser with our privacy VPN. And then if we do that, we can guarantee that it's private. Because we don't want to put something out there that we can't guarantee the privacy on. So I think that's really something that we want to do, is that we want to have a privacy browser that pairs specifically with our VPN. We're not going to charge for it. We're just going to add it to the VPN users so that you have a pairing of the VPN with a privacy browser that only work in conjunction with one another. Because if you have a privacy browser that says it's private, but then you're using another VPN, then actually you've created vulnerabilities for yourself. If you're using a VPN, but you're not using a privacy browser, then you're actually like created vulnerabilities for yourself. The best way to do it is to have a privacy browser with a VPN that's specifically for that privacy browser. That's our goal. That's our plan. That's on a roadmap. That's something that we're going to do. It's not built yet. And I think, like someone said, I need too many features to use something like Brave or Ladybird. Yeah. I think the privacy browser will be a privacy browser. And then we will do and if you want to be outside of a complete private space, then you can use another browser. Decentralized browser, I don't know. We actually believe in centralized tech. We think it's easier to work on, it's easier to update, we can control it. Thing about decentralized is that you don't know who else is a part of that group. Anything can happen, and you don't know how it's running. You don't know who else is co-opted to kind of influence decisions within the technology. It is too easy for developers and devs to get co-opted on one side and start making votes that send it. It may be decentralized, but the majority ends up going one way, and that was not the goal. So I think that's too easy to be done at this point. I think Bitcoin is a perfect example of that, where the original intenders of Bitcoin wanted it to be a certain way, and then the devs took it in another direction. So I think centralized is better. You just have to, you have to trust the developers, I guess. I don't know. I trust me. So I'm going to do what I think is best. And you guys can trust me or not, but that's kind of the goal. If we let too many developers in, it's too easy to get co-opted. And also, decentralized tech takes forever. It's too hard to update. It's too hard to add features. It's too hard to make decisions. It's like a 1 year, 2 year battle to decide and argue and debate how to italicize something. It's not the best way to do it. Lucky Sky Blizzard, send me some information on some music, and we will figure out how to add it in. let's see, Monero. Yeah, I've been using this thing. It's a newer token, but I've been using something called FUSD. It's a privacy. It is a privacy stablecoin. It's a lot easier to use because it's private. It's built on Zeno, and it's a stablecoin, so I don't have to worry about conversions. So I've been using privacy for a privacy token. I've been using FUSD. It's new. It's not a lot of liquidity yet, but it's growing, and that's the one I've been using. So to use currency throughout the world, actually, in order to use something that you have to worry about conversions on, it's not the easiest. I think we're starting to learn that's very difficult. You can get stuck in a bad spot or a good spot depending on it, but most people don't want to rely on that. So I've been using Freedom Dollar, FUSD. And yeah, it's a privacy stable coin. So if you guys want a truly private stable coin, like that's the one right now. Yeah, thought criminal centralization has proven to be a fucking thorn in the side of humanity over and over again. It's true. But they're also figuring out how to game the decentralized game, And we know that decentralized products are just not as polished, that they just don't get mass adoption yet because they just can't move quick enough. So having something that is decentralized, it makes sense. But as like a scale technology, like there's just no use case for it yet. Like they all kind of die and they fork and they keep on forking on one another. And then the devs break off and they create their own version. And you have like 100 versions of the same software. Like this is a problem with decentralized technology, right? Is that everything's a fork of one another. And because of that, there's like no consistency. Everyone's competing with one another. They cannibalize their own market share. And at the end of the day, the projects just all die together. And what we're left with is like half-assed product. I wish that weren't the case because I like the idea of decentralized tech. It just hasn't worked. Centralized tech works better. You just need a good team that actually believes in the mission. And as long as you don't have mission drift, I think that's actually the best to do it. I hope that what we're building and the company that we're building, the privacy company and the technology company that we're building ends up being that company, that we are a company with no mission drift, that we end up very aligned with what we want, which is provide value to the users, to provide privacy, to provide security. And hopefully we're able to prove to the market and the industry that that's actually what we care about and what we're focused on. Competition brings better products. It's not always true. Because what with the decentralized tech is that they all end up competing with themselves. You have one technology that's decentralized, and then it just factions off, and everyone's market share goes from something that's potentially large into something tiny. There has to be something compatible layer for all the forks, like universal. Yeah, even on that, they can't agree on. Like getting consensus of devs all over the world, it's like impossible because everyone's got their own agenda. Everyone wants to make their own money. Everyone wants to make their own bag. Everyone has their own agendas. They split on the most minute details. And you have 100 iterations of the same thing and no one gets market share. It's also very difficult to do. So maybe one day someone will do it. And I encourage that. I hope we run to a world where decentralized tech actually works. But right now, it's still in a testing phase. We just haven't seen it at scale. No one's proven that it's actually possible. At least in something that's as big as like infrastructure, because what we're building is actually part of infrastructure. Our technology and our way to anonymize network traffic, it's going to be part of like the privacy of the future of the internet. We believe that actually. We believe that we're building a cornerstone on the future of the internet. Because, for example, what if Meta came around and they're like, hey, we're going to integrate your technology into WhatsApp? What if Signal came around and said, we're going to integrate your technology to Signal so that we can truly anonymize connections? What if an ISP came around and they said, hey, do you know what? We actually don't want the user data anymore. I don't know if they would ever say that, but if they did. And we want to anonymize traffic so we don't have to give it up because we're sick of having everyone's information. Because every time we have the information, we have to deal with all the agents all over the world. Actually, to solve the ISP and the internet's problem is if they cannot have the traffic, they don't have to deal with the problems that comes with having the user data. We could easily become a cornerstone piece of the infrastructure of the internet if the internet actually ever cares about privacy. It's what we've built. It's possible. It's not impossible. It's possible. It's a goal. How do we create a system in which people actually use our technology, not only just for a VPN, but for other parts of everyday life? Because there's going to be more and more data out there. There's more and more data leaks. And we try. But I think as far as technology goes, I think having a browser is really important. I think having a really good way to do end-to-end encrypted communication will be really important in one day. I think that that's not going to happen. You have to have a plan to prevent these companies from absorbing and getting rid of your technology. If you truly are the disruptor that you say you are and team is, prepare for companies like Meta to be upset with what you're doing unless you're not telling us something. No, I don't think so. I actually disagree. I think if a company says they care, a lot of companies, they've collected data, but data is actually starting to become not that valuable any longer. What we're seeing is that the companies that lose data, maybe they didn't want to lose data. Their system is just built that they have it. There's a reason why technology companies are pushing towards this whole zero trust infrastructure, because they actually don't want it anymore. It's a huge liability for them. Every time a company gets hacked, it costs them millions of dollars. If you're a healthcare provider and you get hacked, I think the average every time you get hacked with user data, it costs them something like $5 million. If you're a bank and you get hacked, it costs you money. If you are a network provider and you get hacked or you give up information, it costs you money. Having user data ends up being a huge expense for technology companies these days. They have to figure out a way to protect it. Not because they don't want it anymore, because there's not as much value in collecting it as it used to be. It's more expensive for them to give it up because people are stealing it from them. We're not in the same place we were 4 years ago where every company wanted all your data information. Do they want it? Yes, but they want to protect it. And they don't want to give it up. It's very expensive to lose your data. On a PR standpoint, on a technology standpoint, on an insurance platform, or a settlement standpoint, it costs companies millions of dollars when they compromise you. We have a tool that will help them. What would you do if you had all the keys to all the data at Oracle? I don't know. You could incorporate into a VoIP service with your infrastructure? Yeah. It can go into VoIP. It can go into public Wi-Fi. For example, if you're a hotel and you have people using a public Wi-Fi, you don't want people getting hacked. You actually want to add a privacy layer and a secure tunnel for your public Wi-Fi. I never connect to public Wi-Fi. I would never connect to a hotel Wi-Fi. I would never connect to an airplane Wi-Fi, airport Wi-Fi, park Wi-Fi, because it's so vulnerable. And these companies can get sued for getting hacked or giving up user information. Having secure tunnels, and they don't use VPNs because VPNs aren't actually that private and secure. And you're giving that information of your user to another company. This is really different. So I think there's an opportunity where we can, use that infrastructure in our architecture in order to help public Wi-Fi. I actually do believe that. Thank you, Mary. I look forward to your efforts in humanity redirecting themselves from its dystopian system. Yeah, I hope so. I really do believe that we have the ability to affect the future. I don't know if we change the future of everybody. I think that's impossible. I think society as a whole will go the direction that's going. But I think we can carve out a good section of the internet where we're able to live our way free. I do believe in freedom. I think it's the most important thing. And you don't have to agree with my ideas, but I believe in your freedom to disagree with me. I agree with that troll Graham that was here earlier that was trolling every 3 seconds. Like, I believe in his right to be able to troll. I think that's important. I think that people need to be able to have different ideas, discuss ideas, be wrong. I think it's okay to be wrong. I think it's so weird that on the internet, people like bring up receipts of something you said 2 years ago. But look, but you said this 2 years ago. Well, fuck. The information I have changed. My idea changed. My view changed. Like, that's okay. ChatGPT is saving all your information. There actually was I believe in state of New York, they mandated that ChatGPT not delete people's logs, so they're supposed to be deleting them. So that is something that we're thinking about also. How do you anonymize your language model to, how do you anonymize your connection to your language model so that your search stays on your computer and your own device, so that you have control and on your own equipment, but that you're able to pull in information from various AIs and language models, but at the same time anonymize your traffic and your pull. So this is something that we are going to be working on in the future also. This is something that I think is really important. I think there's a problem that has to actually be solved. So this is something that we are going to be working on. How do you protect your queries and your requests with language models? That is definitely be a problem. Right now we're solving how do you anonymize traffic for your browser and your general internet use, but how do you anonymize your connection to language models? This is a future project that we are going to be working on. It's probably even more important than the VPN. So something to consider. That is, your support of the VPN is supporting these projects that we're going to be working on very soon. All right. If you guys can, definitely go to vp.net, sign up for our VPN. It's really important. It's not just the VPN. It's all these other projects that we want to do, that we want to work on, that you're supporting. It's the messenger. It is the browser. It is your communication and secure tunnel with AI. If you can check those out, if you can check it out, I appreciate it. And if you want to help us grow, if you believe in the privacy mission that we have, if you want to sign up as an affiliate, definitely go do that. We do pay commissions on that. It is our way to market. It is our marketing model. I don't want to pay for a bunch of ads and bullshit that people don't use so we can pay a bunch of companies that don't deserve it. I would rather that money go to people within the community. I would rather go to people that actually care and need it and want to contribute, that want to provide value back to society and help the mission overall. So go to vp.net, look for the affiliates link. You can sign up and you can make your commission and do all of that. Are you a millionaire? I am not a millionaire. I just work hard. 350. We have 350 servers operating currently. We anticipate by the end of the year, we'll probably be at maybe 1,000 or 2,000 as we scale and we grow. So we are ramping up for it, but we will be adding on over time. If there are regions in the world that you're watching from that you wish that there were more servers, definitely do that. I am not rich. I am not poor. I work hard, and yeah. And I think the term rich is relative. One person's rich is another person's poor. Another person's poor is another person's rich. Yeah. I just want to provide value to the world. If you want to have any ideas, on Soju, we did create a pocha for VPNet. If you want to put information in there, feel free to engage in there. We will continue to update as we go. In the meantime, I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Support vp.net, please. And I think I'm going to go stream on Instagram. So if you want to hang out over there, I'm going to go do an Instagram live. Thank you guys. Check in. SAR.